Grimsby in their second year back in the EFL, really consolidating well. The referee leading the teams out, Sam Perkis, is the man in charge this afternoon as the teams come out from the tunnel to our right hand side where the Dallas stand meets the main stand here at the University of Bradford Stadium. Picture perfect afternoon, and we're about to get underway with plenty of live football coming your way across the Talksport network this afternoon. Just download the Talksport app for free, and it's as easy as anything to swipe between our two stations, Talksport and the one you're listening to right now, Talksport 2. Wrexham Doncaster to come at 3 on Talksport 2. England's Euro 2024 qualifier against Ukraine in Wrocław, Poland. That's live on Talksport at 5. The coverage starts at 4 p.m. and from 7:30 you can be the first to have your say on national radio. The game day phone-in, Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant taking your calls on all the international football action. I dare say, Chris, there'll be some Scotland fans wanting to have their say on another very convincing win last night against Cyprus to go 5 wins in a row in their group.
Yeah, it's been excellent. No, really thoroughly enjoyed the game last night. Very controlled, comfortable victory. Should have been more goals as well. So I'm looking very much to Tuesday night, Ian. Let me say I'm looking very much forward to it.
That is live on Talksport as well. The 150th anniversary of Scotland meeting England at Hampden Park. And although Chris is going to be surrounded by kilts and tartan, he thinks he's outnumbered because he's got Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce with him. I'm sure Chris will more than hold his own in that company on Tuesday night on Talksport. But England have got Ukraine to worry about first of all, and Scotland would have had 24 hours more rest. So every chance. It's not that long ago that Harry Kane got England out of jail at Hampden with a 90-something minute equaliser. And of course, the Rugby World Cup has started. What a performance from the French last night to beat the All Blacks in the opening fixture. England get underway tonight against Argentina in Marseille. Andrew McKenna will keep you across all the action during the course of that game day phone-in on Talksport from 7:30 with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Let me run you through the lineups once again here ahead of kick-off between Bradford City and Grimsby Town. Bradford have Harry Lewis in goal. 3 centre-halves, Matty Platt, Sam Stubbs and Kieran Kelly. Brad Halliday, Richard Smallwood, Kevin McDonald and Lewis Richards across midfield in front of them, with Matt Derbyshire playing in behind Jamie Walker and Bobby Poynton making his full debut at the age of 19 for Bradford. For Grimsby, Jake Eastwood is their goalkeeper. Toby Malarkey, Harvey Rogers, Niall Mayer and Danny Amos in the back four. Camille Conte to hold in midfield, and then Arthur Nahua, Gavin Holohan, Harry Clifton and Abu Isa, once off Bradford, playing in behind lone striker Danny Rose. Referees just sorting out the coin toss with our two captains, Richard Smallwood of Bradford and Danny Rose, and the ball has been delivered onto the pitch by the motor company. It's a bit like the Euros a couple of years ago when you saw those little remote control cars. He's found it quite easy this afternoon on this lush green surface. I want to see that car do that in January when the pitch is cut up a bit, you know, once you get into the winter when it's rutted all over the spot.
Pitch is looking unbelievable.
It is in great form, this pitch. And we're underway to kick off game day across the Talksport network. Bradford defending the Kop end away to our left-hand side in their claret and amber hoops with white shorts and socks. Grimsby in their first choice colours of the black and white stripes, black shorts and red socks. They're attacking the Kop end, Grimsby to our left, defending the Dallas stand where about a third of the Grimsby fans are. The other 2/3 are in the Midland Road stand opposite us here at the University of Bradford. A flick on from Danny Rose, but it's intercepted by Matty Platt and then thumped downfield by Sam Stubbs, but it'll just roll through to Jake Eastwood, who spent 17 years on the books of Sheffield United but only made a handful of appearances for the Blades. Was loaned here during his to Grimsby during his time at Sheffield United, now a permanent signing. He sends the ball downfield and it's a hurried clearance by Kevin McDonald. It's one back at the edge of the area by Abu Isa. You can hear the boos ring around the stadium for their former player who had an injury-addled spell at Bradford. Only 2 goals in 21 appearances across 2 seasons. That tells you just how little he was able to contribute because of the injury problems he had. But he's going to be the chief pantomime element, it seems, this afternoon. Chris Willemo, minute gone 0-0.
I'm sure he'll enjoy every minute of it as well. Something I've noticed as well, it's Matty Derbyshire that's the point man, and he's got the likes of Walker and Poynton just in behind him. So I think maybe that's something that maybe to start off and rotate it. Maybe the legs might be a one in question there. But
so it's a 3-4-2-1 really, in effect, for Bradford. Derbyshire's kind of pushed Walker and Poynton about 10 yards deeper, certainly than Jamie Walker was when he was playing alongside Tyler Smith for the draw against Mansfield last time out in the league. Grimsby have the ball in their own defensive third. Mayer clips the ball downfield, giving chase down the left-hand side of the box is Clifton. Goes to ground. Good defending in the end by Matty Platt, and it's a goal kick to Bradford, 0-0.
Yeah, it was fantastic defending from Matty Platt there. You know, he's just got his body in between ball and man, usher it all the way, just felt the challenge and goes down, but he's watching it all the way, and I'm thinking it's going to be a bit of a foot race here, but he just read the flight of the ball very, very well. Grimsby,
famous last season really for that extraordinary FA Cup run. 2 penalties at St Mary's to see off Southampton as they got all the way to the quarter-finals in a sensational run under Paul Hurst. I did read somewhere a Grimsby fan who was asked about the season. They said, what do you expect? He said, well, win the FA Cup, which is a bit mad, but I like that. Ball's on halfway with Danny Rose for Grimsby's foul by Smallwood. Free kick to Grimsby. 0-0 the score. Chris Wellerman.
Real quality from Danny Rose there as well. I think he's up. He's won his header. He's been taken in the midriff, mid-air. He's came down, landed very, very heavily. I think it's knocked all the wind out of him, but the balls came straight back to him. It's a fantastic touch as well. Just protected the ball, felt the pressure on behind and won Grimsby a free kick. But he's so good at receiving the ball.
Amos takes the free kick. It's in the area. McDonald hooks it clear, but Camille Conte's there to retrieve the ball for Grimsby Town. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Holohan plays a little 1-2, brings the ball in field. He's got support as well from Nahua. Nahua goes for goal, and it's spilt out to the left-hand side, and as he goes behind for a corner, Harry Lewis had to plunge down to his left very, very quickly. The flag had gone up for offside against the onrushing Danny Rose, but Arthur Nahua just let fly from the right-hand side and almost caught out Harry Lewis at his near post. 0-0.
Well, I'm looking at the goalkeeper there, and I think the ball's going wide anyway, but I think Harry Lewis needs to know exactly where his goal is. It's a fantastic strike, good power on it as well. I think Harry Lewis can let that one go, but again, when you're unsure, you have to make the save. It's a good, strong left-hand save, but like you said, it just shows you the threat of Grimsby as well if you give them too much time. Arthur Ganua there, fantastic strike with the left.
Bradford coming forward for the first time properly this afternoon, really, with a score at 0-0. 4 minutes gone on Talksport 2. But Matt Derbyshire's cushion header trying to bring Bobby Poynton into the game on this near side, the Bradford right, just drifts out of play instead for a Grimsby Town throw that Danny Amos is going to take, joined a year or so ago from Port Vale. He scored against Luton, Danny Amos, last year in that FA Cup run when Luton were a championship side. Now, of course, in the Premier League. Conte wins the ball back for Grimsby Town, gives the ball back to the edge of his own box, and Harvey Rogers plays the ball just to his right. Malarkey plays a knee pull over halfway. Oh, lovely run from Holohan, and he was caught down that left-hand side by Kieran Kelly, and the referee wants a word with the Bradford centre-half, and he's going to book him, I think, Sam Perkis, for that challenge on Holohan, who made a lovely run down the inside right channel for Grimsby, who now have a free kick to send into the Bradford box. 0-0.
Yeah, it was a fantastic run in by Holohan there. I'm just thinking, he felt the touch. Kieran Kelly was late with the challenge. I think Holohan could stay on his feet, and he's in behind there, but he's went down. Excellent. They're using the ball very, very well. Grimsby, I think, winning the second balls, I think that's one of the things that Bradford have to do better, but Grimsby are definitely on top at the minute.
Now, who are going to take this free kick from the far right-hand side? Drifted in with his left, headed out strongly to the halfway line, but it's retrieved by Amos. Plays the ball just to his left, and Grimsby working it up to the left-hand corner of the box. Isa lays it off. Cross from the left-hand side, sent in by Malarkey. But that's cleared away, and Grimsby will tidy up, and Malarkey will move from left back to right-hand side for Grimsby Town. It's back with the left back Danny Amos once again, but his ball over halfway for Grimsby just deflects off a couple of Bradford boots and comes back to Kieran Kelly. Early ball out to Lewis Richards, left hand side, just has to spin shy of the halfway line because Nahua was closing down the space, and the Claret and Amber Hoops have it now with Matty Platt. Fires the ball out to this near touchline, and Brad Halliday, who was caught late by Isa, has won a free kick. Now the Bradford fans want a bit of recompense. They want a yellow card for an opposing player, seeing as one of theirs has been booked. But I think it would just be a quiet word in Abu Isa's ear. Actually, no, it will be a yellow card. The referee's got overlooked at Halliday.
Such a poor decision, Ian. Such a poor decision.
And now he's decided to book Abu Isa. 7 minutes into his return to Valley Parade, 0-0.
Well, I'm looking at that. Matthew Platt fired it into Halliday there, and he took a big first touch. He allowed it. It was a. Isa is definitely going to make a challenge for the ball. Halliday's then went, and they came together. I don't think it's a yellow card. I think he's made the most. Look at he's sitting rolling about. He's up. He's conned the referee in there. The yellow cards came out, albeit the officiating needs to be better in those moments. Just read the body language of the players.
Bradford free kick, half cleared by Grimsby, but picked up for Bradford on the left-hand side by Jamie Walker. Works it back to the halfway line. McDonald is there. Bags of experience. Derbyshire's made a run down the inside left channel, but the long ball over the top just skipped away from him on the heavily watered surface. And it's going to be a Grimsby goal kick. Away to our right, 7.5 gone on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Bradford 0, Grimsby 0. Here's Chris Iwelumo.
It's very much stayed with the 2-1 with Matty Derbyshire leading that. I thought that would change. I just think with the positioning, the physicality of Derbyshire as well, that he'll cause more of a problem for that direct ball that's coming, but they're looking for those little balls in behind, and I think I'm just looking at Bobby Poynton now. Looks very, very mobile. I think defensively gets back and does his bit for the team, so maybe that's one of the reasons why he's in that kind of deeper position behind Derbyshire.
He goes up for a header, does Poynton with Conte, but the taller man wins the header and almost smuggled through to Holohan at the edge of the area for Grimsby by Nahua, but Bradford had bodies back. They clear downfield, but Derbyshire's very isolated, and Grimsby win it back.
What's important if Harry Lewis is going to go direct to Derbyshire, that the likes of Walker and Poynton are as close as they can, because Grimsby are winning everything. I think Camille Conte, he's so mobile. He's nipping at the front of Derbyshire when that ball goes into body, into feet. Covers a lot of distance, but he has that quality, like he's on the ball now, that he can just see the pass once again, creates those little angles just to receive the ball.
Rogers looks for Toby Bilarkey for Grimsby, out on the far side in front of that Midland Road stand. Now the ball's played down the right hand side of the box, looking for the run of Rose. He's done brilliantly to at least keep it in play, but then Kieran Kelly stood strong and won it back for Bradford City. Laid off for Walker. Kelly again, and then it's clipped downfield by Stubbs, looking for Derbyshire to make a run tight to that far touchline, but it's gone out of play and Grimsby have a throw, 0-0.
And it's not working. It's not working from back to front. Those little balls to Derbyshire, like you say, you've already alluded to how isolated he is. I think that back four with obviously Conte is just stopping that ball coming in, so they've got to find quality in the pockets to the likes of Walker, to the likes of Bobby Poynton. Can they get it to feet in those little pockets and then turn and drive at that 4, that 5 and move, commit the defenders out of position, then they can bring Derbyshire into play. They're trying to go direct, little ones with quality, down to the feet, down the sides to Derbyshire. Has to be deeper in behind if you want them running in, and then get yourself up. But everything's coming back. Grimsby are solid and like you say, winning the first balls and second balls.
10 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Ian Danter and Chris Iwelumo with you at the University of Bradford Stadium. Bradford 0, Grimsby 0. Back with the Grimsby goalkeeper Jake Eastwood wearing all fluorescent green in his goalkeeping get-up. Harry Lewis in all purple for Bradford. Away to our left-hand side, and Grimsby have won a throw just over the halfway line, right next to where Paul Hurst is directing operations at the edge of his technical area. The Grimsby manager back for a second spell. He's won over 50 games since his return to Blundell Park in 2020. The ball's at the edge of the Bradford area, but smuggled clear by Platt, and then Smallwood just floats the ball out to Lewis Richards and brings the ball down very neatly inside his own half on that Bradford left-hand side. Cuts in field to the halfway line. McDonald spots the run of Halliday. Super run from Brad Halliday. Can he keep it in play in this ear side? No, he can't. But the spot from Kevin McDonald saw Halliday starting the run, but the pass just evaded the Bradford number 2, and it's a throw to Grimsby, 0-0.
Yeah, it was much better there from Bradford. As soon as Kevin McDonald was in possession of the ball, driving forward, Bobby Poynton got right up beside Derbyshire as well, was running through the centre, Halliday down this right-hand side. I think it was the wrong ball from Kevin. He'll probably have a proper pop at me later for saying that. But, you know, with the quality that he's got, the vision that he's got, that little dink in behind, he had a full half for Poynton to run onto as well.
There's a difference between a long ball and a long pass, right?
Yep.
That's what Glenn Huddle said to me once.
Definitely. And he could do it as well.
Oh, my goodness. 0-0 on Talksport 2. Nearly 12 minutes gone here on your home with the EFL. Our first of 2 League 2 commentaries. We're off to the racecourse later. 3 o'clock kickoff. Wrexham against Doncaster with Joe Shannon and Mickey Gray in North Wales.
Just one of the stories with Glenn Hoddle at Wolves, he'd actually do things in training that the player, no, I'm not having it like this, do it like this, and he'd just do it first time.
Yeah, and nobody else could do it.
No
and I bet that made you go, it's not good for the soul, is it?
Yeah.
Throw in for Danny Amos for Grimsby, but it goes over everyone's head and just bounces behind, harmlessly enough from the Bradford point of view, for a goal kick. They're 12 unbeaten here at the University of Bradford Stadium, and 18 unbeaten in all competitions against Grimsby Town.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic record to have. From what I've seen so far, I think Mark Hughes will be disappointed, because I think they've allowed Grimsby to control and dictate the tempo of the game. You know, you're here, you've got your home fans. Look at this place, the atmosphere that it's. You've got to get them up. You've got to get them creating some noise. Get on your front foot, move the ball fast with a little bit more intensity. But they're allowing Grimsby to dictate this game today, and they've done it very, very well. But look,
I was in touch with a Talksport colleague this morning who is a Bradford fan, and he was saying to me that the issue with Mark Hughes is that sometimes he just doesn't let the handbrake off enough for his teams. Now, he's got no Andy Cook to lead the line up front at the moment. Verdane Oliver is also out. Tyler Smith has picked up an injury in training. So he's got to try and mix and match here today, Mark Hughes, to find the balance and blend up front that's going to create these chances.
It does make a massive difference in how you allow your team to go out and express themselves when you've got like a massive void of Andy Cook, what he brings, the goals that he brings. And goals, it's the hardest thing to do in football, Ian, you know, put the ball in the back of the net, and that changes the whole outlook of any game. Amos
for Grimsby just floats the ball out to Malarkey inside the Bradford half, right hand side. Nahua is standing out there with him. He cuts infield, Nahua with the ball at his feet, lays it off to Holohan, and then Conte and Holohan just exchange passes. Holohan will actually go back to Harvey Rogers. Arrived on a free from Accrington Stanley. Had a short spell at Fleetwood that didn't really work out for Harvey Rogers on the west coast, so he's gone to the east coast instead. Camille Conte for Grimsby. Fires the ball out to Malarkey. Controls it well on his chest. Down the right-hand side, cuts infield. He's taken down by Lewis Richards. No foul, says the referee, but Malarkey straight to his feet to win the ball back. 0-0.
That's a free kick. I don't understand how the ref. There's contact there. Malarkey's got round him. There is contact. He goes to the floor, and it's not even a soft one. It's a definite free kick. I don't understand how the referee can allow it to go on, albeit he got back up on his feet and won the ball back.
Now here's Sam Stubbs at the back for Bradford, under pressure from Danny Rose. He fired the ball downfield, but Grimsby have won it back. Headed down for Isa, neatly lays it back to the halfway line, and Camille Conte. Conte holds his arms out to the side as to say, who's given me an option? Looks to his left and finds Clifton. Clifton into the feet of Danny Rose. Good foot in from Matty Platt just to get it away. Sam Stubbs it was indeed, forgive me, who got the foot in to get it clear.
It's an excellent challenge from Matty Platt, but you can see by the body language of defence they're not happy. It's just pressure after pressure. What I will say, the quality from back to front has to be better. You know, Derbyshire's presenting himself, but it's all fight balls. It's got to be into his feet, into his body, and they have the quality to play that exact pass. If that's not on, can they find a McDonald? Can they find a Smallwood and try and play through the thirds? But at the minute, the quality has been poor from back to front from Bradford.
Grimsby in possession, 0-0, midway point of the Bradford half. It's passed out left to Isa, who started the season so brilliantly for his new club, scoring 4 in 8 already. Halliday's gone down, not fouled by Isa this time, but by Amos, and it's going to be a free kick for Bradford City, and Paul Hurst just wagging his finger in the general direction of the fourth official. saying, I know where this is going, I don't like it.
Well, I've got to say that I think that was more of a yellow card than the one that came out earlier. Daniel Amos there taking Halliday out. He was breaking.
Richards looks to release Jamie Walker down the Bradford left, but across comes Rogers, gets his foot to the ball and puts it out of play into the Bradford fans in that Midland Road stand opposite us. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2. 16.5 minutes gone in West Yorkshire. Here's Lewis Richards playing the ball into the box, looking for Derbyshire. Important interception by Mayer on the half volley, because if he hadn't got a touch on that, Derbyshire was 6 yards out in front of goal, ready to pounce.
That was a fantastic ball in from Lewis Richards there. And that's the thing, Derbyshire, his positioning was right in between both centre-backs. But like you say, Rogers done his job there, defensively sound, knew exactly where his striker was and just got his foot in there to clear the area.
Only 4 goals this season for Bradford in the league. 2 of those scored by Alex Patterson, who's on the bench today. Another from Clark Oddawar, who's away on international duty this weekend. So only Jamie Walker out there has netted for the Bantams in the starting 11 so far this season. Goal kick for Jake Eastwood of Grimsby, away to our right. Good strength on that kick. It goes a good 2/3 of the way down the field, headed back towards halfway by Stubbs and drifts out of play right in between the 2 technical areas down beneath us for a throw to the Mariners, to be taken by Danny Amos once again, former Doncaster youth. And we've got Doncaster live at Wrexham this afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff on Talksport 2 for another League 2 offering. Most League 1 games called off for international duty. That's a sign of the times, isn't it? Never used to get that many League 1 games called off for internationals. It's a great sign for the league.
Definitely.
Nahua down the right-hand side for Grimsby, finds Malarkey, but Malarkey forced to go back to halfway.
Pass it up, Ian. Pass it up far too many times. Look how many Grimsby shots were in the 4-5 shots were in the box here. Just put the ball in. Ask the question. Going back, and then all of a sudden now they have to work down both sides to try and get into the perfect position for a cross again.
Some big games in League 2 today as well, notably MK Dons and Notts County. The top 2 face each other at Stadium MK. And Notts County, who've come back from that mauling they got on opening weekend at Sutton United. And Macaulay Langstaff has started to find the net as well in recent weeks, which is ominous for the rest of League 2.
Yes.
Here's Bradford in possession. Mark Hughes apoplectic with, I think there was a little challenge by Danny Amos as Halliday brought the ball down that Hughes was not happy with, and he's giving the assistant referee on this near side a piece of his mind. And of course managers have got to be careful from this season onwards about how much back chat they give to officials as to whether a yellow card gets produced their way. We've already had 2 yellow cards in this game, 1 for either side. Halliday found well by Jamie Walker, touched in field by McDonald for Smallwood. Smallwood looking early for Lewis Richards, who's beaten the offside trap. The ball just gets away from him and the keeper comes out to the edge of his area. Eastwood gets there just in time. There were claims for handball by Jake Eastwood, but I don't think he handled it. I think he got his thigh to the ball, just kept it away from Richards and hoofed it out of play for a Bradford throw, 0-0.
I think Eastwood, he got his hand to it, but he was in the box, but then he slid out the box.
Smallwood's cross into the box. Walker tries to loft it to the far post, but gets too much on it, and it goes way over Eastwood's crossbar for a Grimsby Town goal kick. We're approaching the 20-minute mark on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 0. Chrissy Wellamo.
Lewis Richards, excellent quality, great energy, especially when Kevin McDonald gets that time and space. It was an excellent pass in behind, and like you say, most goalkeepers now, Jake Eastwood came out, sweeps up defensively, does his job, comes on, just kind of nullifies that space and does his job as a goalkeeper there, which they do. But you can't give Kevin McDonald that time and space in midfield, because he will hurt you. But Bradford, there's not really been any clear-cut chances, and then when Jamie Walker has the opportunity to take the ball down, get his head up and put a quality in, he puts it first time out of play. It has to be better when it gets into that attacking area. As
well as the international football that we're bringing you later on Talksport with Ukraine, England, there's more tomorrow here on Talksport 2. Kazakhstan against Northern Ireland. Alex Crook and Jerry Taggart, your commentary team for that one. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff. Monday night at 7:45, Latvia against Wales. Turkey only drew last night against Armenia. Nigel Adderley and Dean Saunders will be your commentators. Latvia, bottom of that group. Wales have got to win in Latvia to stand any chance of being in the top 2 in their group. That's Monday night, 7:45 here on Talksport 2. And then, as we were talking about with Chris Iwelumo earlier, he's part of the commentary team at Hampden on Tuesday night on Talksport. Scotland against England, the 150th anniversary game. 0-0 here as we approach the midway point of the first half. Harvey Rogers for Grimsby hits a raking 60-yard ball looking for ice on this near side, but he's overhit it. Goes out on the full for a Bradford throw in their right back position. 0-0.
Yeah, there's just no reason for Harvey Rogers to take it on. You know, they're controlling the game at the minute, so you want to kind of bounce it into Houlihan, Clifton, and just keep possession of the ball. And even it wasn't on. Like, Isa's getting marked by Halliday, so he's not really kind of creating any space or shuffling Bradford around to kind of create those opportunities. So just keep possession of the ball as they have been doing.
Grimsby haven't won away in the league since early April when they won at Doncaster Rovers, so that's 6 in all competitions without an away success for the Mariners. But as Chris Iwelumo said before kick-off, they are 4 unbeaten in the league this season, so there's something to build on here. And they've arguably, Chris Iwelumo, in these opening 22 and a half minutes, looked the more comfortable side out there.
No, they have. You know, I think that they're going out and they're doing the basics well. You know, I think controlling the game with the ball, but they're winning all the second balls. And then really, I just feel that quality in that final third, that attacking third. Don't pass up the opportunity to put crosses in. You've got numbers in the box to kind of get on the end of that. But they don't concede that first goal. That's something that I fully expect Grimsby to take the lead here, but it's how they manage that game when they do. And I think hopefully that could be the catalyst that spring Bradford into playing the way that we know they can.
Derbyshire caught offside. He thought it was a different phase of play, but the referee disagreed. And we're back underway. Grimsby in possession at 0-0. 23 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Amos plays the ball along the halfway line from left to right and picks out Gavin Holohan. Holohan out to Malarkey, the right back. Left Rochdale for Grimsby after Dale's relegation back to the National League. And he has it again on the halfway line. Holohan now plays it into the feet of Clifton, who goes down under pressure from Kelly. Good challenge from Kieran Kelly. And McDonald shovels the ball infield to the 2 centre halves, Platt and Stubbs. And it's Stubbs who's getting a few impatient calls as he fires the ball onto the chest of Derbyshire, but he can't hold on to it. Mayer stepped out from the back and won it back for Grimsby. Isa looking to have a run at Matty Platt, and he's won a throw in for Grimsby, almost level with the Bradford penalty area, 0-0.
Well, I have to say it was much better there from Sam Stubbs. That ball up to Derbyshire, right into the chest. He's got to make it stick. He's got to allow Bradford to get up. The likes of Walker and
Amos with a cross into the box. It's headed away by Stubbs.
Better.
Lovely touch from Derbyshire, and he set Jamie Walker away for the Bantams. Down the inside right position, Isa coming to close down the space. Walker gets into the area, cuts inside his man, and then fires wastefully over. Got caught in 2 nines between a cross and a shot and managed neither, although he turned inside Abu Isa quite beautifully, Jamie Walker. That's the first half chance of the game to Bradford. It's 0-0.
Yeah, I've got to say it was excellent play as well. The ball from Little Drink Break as well now. The ball up to Derbyshire was quality. As a good striker, knows his awareness, great little touch into the path of Walker. He had the full half to run into the big first touch, and then good close control, takes it past Isa. He's already got in his mind he's going to let a shot go, bend it round the defensive player of Grimsby to try and find that back end of the Grimsby goal, but got it all wrong. I think as soon as he cuts in there, can he try and find another Bradford shot? He had numbers, he had Poynton with him, he had Derbyshire there. I even think it was Smallwood as well that was getting up there. So just pick another shot up that's in a better position and create a better opportunity there. It was nowhere near, high and wide.
Chris Iwelumo alongside me, Ian Danter. Both sets of players have taken a drinks break in these warm temperatures. My phone says it's 26 degrees here in Bradford this Saturday lunchtime. There's just a little bit of cloud cover now. It was uninterrupted sunshine when we got here, but there's just a few wispy clouds ahead that are just obscuring the sun. It's a bit more hazy than it was a little earlier. Now, I mentioned all the international football we've got coming up on Talksport and Talksport 2. Next Friday, what a great game in the Championship. 8 o'clock on Talksport 2. Southampton against Leicester, Chris. Jim will be there, Jim Proudfoot, along with Sam Parkin for full commentary of that game. That promises plenty because Southampton under Russell Martin, yes, they've not quite clicked, but they passed the ball around really, really well. And Leicester under Enzo Maresca, up until last weekend, going great guns.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Southampton, for me, conceding far too many goals. Leicester, yeah, it's not the prettiest. I think I've done the game against Cardiff at Leicester, and they were outstanding the first half, and then completely just as poor the second. Still got the points on the board, and that's what it's all about, Ian, isn't it?
It is. And at game day next weekend, once we get into a week today, features Wolves, Liverpool, Manchester United, Brighton, and Saturday evening, Cardiff against Swansea. And Chris is going to be there at the Cardiff City Stadium for that South Wales derby. Can't believe they've let that one go at 7:45 on a Saturday evening. Normally it's about 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, isn't it, that game?
I think there'll be a few frequenting the pubs in the Cardiff City area.
I don't think South Wales police will be too chuffed.
Not happy at all
with that way that fixture's been organised. Here between Bradford and Grimsby, we're back underway. 27 minutes gone on Talksport 2. It's 0-0, and so far in this opening 25 minutes or so, the story of the game has been Bradford inability to really make the ball stick up front, and Grimsby keeping them at bay.
No, I have to agree. I think the drinks break can play a massive part for them.
Here's Malarkey coming forward for Grimsby. Nahua on the right wing on the far side of the field, with Grimsby attacking the cop end. Good cross into the box, nodded down by Clifton. Almost found a teammate in black and white stripes, but it's smuggled clear by Bradford, only up to the halfway line where Rogers wins it back. Malarkey plays the ball in field. Lovely 1-2. Tried to nick it in field to Clifton. Holohan will now carry it forward towards the edge of the area. Still going, Gavin Holohan. Nahua on the overlap on the right wing, but across comes Kelly just to fire it into those Bradford fans in the Midland Road stand. Throw in to Grimsby, 0-0 the score.
Yeah, I'm looking at Holohan there. He's driving into the box, and I'm just thinking he's just going to outside of the foot to Ganur, just on the right hand side, or even just kind of a little pass inside. He's got bodies in the box. Just allows it, sloppy play really, just allows the defensive challenger Lewis Richards to get in there and intercept the ball from him there. But Grimsby are, like you say, they're keeping the pressure on, picking up the second balls, and they've always got options. You know, I don't think they choose the correct option more often than not, but they have to really kind of put Bradford to the sword, and that quality just needs to be kind of raised a little bit in that attacking third.
0-0, 28 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Grimsby with Holohan trying to get down to the right-hand corner flag, but Lewis Richards teed up the chance to volley it clear, but only got it half clear. Just won't stick with Bradford. Grimsby have it back. Holohan, lovely little back heel to get Nahua in the game. Clifton tries to give it back to Nahua in the area. It's only half cleared again by Bradford, and then Derbyshire just lofts it downfield to nowhere in particular, and it just drifts out of play on that far side. You can have a drinks break if you want at any time, Chris Llewellyn, by the way. I know the players have had one, but you're entitled to have one yourself.
Thank you. Again, just another opportunity on Nahua. I think he's taking too many touches in the 18-yard box. Yeah, he's trying to manipulate the ball, but I think Bradford are defending very well. You know, even the one that was hung up at the back post that get headed back into the 6-yard area, it was Kevin McDonald that came in with the clearance. So defensively, they're all know their positions, their responsibilities. I just feel that Grimsby are letting them off the loose a little bit at the minute. They've just got to be a little bit more clinical with that, more decisive with the pass, the cross, or the shot in that attacking third.
That's Chris Llewellyn alongside me, Ian Dante. Last time that Chris and I worked together was the playoff semi-final first leg between Coventry and Middlesbrough at the CBS Arena, where I think I ended up with bruised ribs from some of the demonstrations. That's why I've kept a seat between you and me today. Yeah. I was doing the second half from an iron lung.
Oh, I apologise, Ian. I do apologise.
But you were making the point about, shielding the ball and getting your arm across an opponent. You just got your arm across me as your opponent about 10 times during the course of that commentary. I've only just recovered, and that was May. 0-0 here on Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. We played half an hour, and it's scrappy. And this will suit Grimsby Town more than it will suit Bradford City. Yeah,
I think so. I think Bradford aren't really being allowed to play the way that they want. I think Grimsby are on top, but it has got a little bit scrappy. I think they're trying to put a little bit more pressure on Camille Conte. Now he's not really getting that time, that luxury to kind of get his head up and drive forward. So yeah, it has got a little bit scrappy, but there has to be that in the game to kind of earn the right to kind of get a foothold in the game to play the way that you want. Very strong challenge.
Harvey Rogers slid in very strongly there. He kind of lost control of the ball and slid into Lewis Richards, and Lewis Richards is just writhing around on his backside and just being checked by the referee to make sure he's all right. But Harvey Rogers, the Grimsby centre-half, just took a heavy touch, and he's going to get booked for this by the referee because he slid into Lewis Richards, because that touch he took the ball just that little bit too far away from him.
I do like this, that the officials are taking a lot more time. You don't know, you think, oh right, he's letting them off with it, but they're having that conversation. They're saying what they're saying to the fourth official, what they've seen. They have that deliberation, and then all of a sudden, like, Sam Purkis there brings a yellow card out. And I think that was worthy of a yellow card as well.
Yeah, yellow card issued. Second one for Grimsby players, and the Bradford free kick is overhit and just bounces through to Jake Eastwood. A source of frustration for the Bradford fans. We mentioned 15,000 season ticket holders here at Bradford, which is a League 2 record for a second year in a row. They priced their season tickets very, very competitively here in this part of Yorkshire. £198 typically will get you a full complement of league matches.
There's no reason for Bradford to go direct there. Kevin McDonald's in space, Kieran Kelly's going for the long ball into Derbyshire, and I've got to say, it's all fight balls. Grimsby they're solid, they're winning those headers, the centre backs are man mountains, so you know what, you have to play with better quality. Give the ball into Kevin McDonald or into the likes of Poynton and Walker, but quality into feet, into chest, into body, whatever it may be. Then get up the pitch and play in the middle area or attacking third. At the minute, it's just all fight balls going up to Derbyshire. It's coming straight back because Grimsby are winning all second balls with the likes of Conte in there and Houlihan.
Yes, Bobby Poynton on his full debut for Bradford has had very, very little to feed off in this opening 33 minutes. But it's one back, and here is Poynton on halfway. Just toe pokes the ball through to Derbyshire. Halliday in space on this near side for Bradford. Midway point of the Grimsby half. Walker on the overlap. It's fed to Jamie Walker, who's caught by Amos and goes down. Free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for Danny Amos, who just hung out a leg. Walker went over it. I think to me, he fell somewhat theatrically, but that is a yellow card for Danny Amos all the same. But what it means more importantly in the context of the game is it gives Bradford City a free kick down the right-hand side of the Grimsby penalty area. And Walker does indeed get to his feet and doesn't need treatment.
Well, Amos, I think that yellow card was coming. You know, 2 challenges earlier in this half. He could have received a yellow card for either. So again, it's came, but now he has to kind of watch how he goes about business for the rest of the game. I think it was excellent play, like you say, Poynton and Voive, little toe poke, comes out to Halliday. Walker breaking his neck to do that overlap. The weight of pass was a little bit kind of soft. It kind of gave Amos that opportunity to go and make the challenge, but Walker was very, very quick and just got it away and invited that challenge.
So Poynton and Walker are the 2 players standing over the free kick down the right-hand side of the Grimsby box. There's a clutch of players around the 6-yard line in both claret and amber and black and white, ready for this free kick to come in. Poynton sends it up to the far post. It's headed up away by Rogers. Comes out to the left-hand side of the area. Kevin McDonald is first on the scene for Bradford, trying to twist and turn away from Mayer, who just pokes the ball out of play for a throw to Bradford down by the corner flag in front of those Grimsby fans and the opposite stand to us. And it will be a long throw coming in from Kieran Kelly, who appears to be the long throw specialist for Bradford City. It's about 10 yards from the corner flag, with Bradford attacking the TL Dallas stand away to our right in this first half. In it comes from Kelly, into the near post, headed clear by Grimsby, and they have to go back, Bradford, to halfway to retrieve possession with Matty Platt. Now Smallwood in a bit of space fires the ball down the inside left channel. Poynton is onside and will keep the ball in play down at the dead ball line. Rolls it back to Richards. He's got time to measure across him, but he doesn't do so. He actually delays and allows Houlihan to get back at him. Then he rolls it back 10 yards or so to Kelly. Kelly finds Poynton out in the left wing. He gets his head up, thinks about a cross, then just rolls the ball in field to Kelly once more. Back out to Poynton. feints to cross, checks back onto his right foot, comes back down the touchline. They're almost fearful of getting the ball into the danger area, Bradford City. And they've gone back into their own half again to start once more with Platt. Now Halliday on the halfway line, skips inside Amos, plays the ball into the feet of Walker. He lays it off to McDonald. McDonald looks to get Derbyshire away down the inside right position, but he's offside. And it's a free kick to Grimsby Town. Don't forget, Talksport breakfast back from 6 a.m. on Monday with a no doubt delighted Ali McCoist after Scotland's win in Nicosia last night, and Republic of Ireland midfielder Andy Townsend. They'll be looking back on all the home nations qualifiers from the weekend and ahead to the mouth-watering Scotland-England clash that Chris is going to be at for Talksport Tuesday at Hampden. Host of big-name guests joining them as well. That's Talksport breakfast back Monday morning when you wake up from 6 a.m. It's 0-0 here with 8 minutes to half-time. Chris Llewellyn.
35, 36 minutes in, Ian, and I think that's the kind of most pressure that Bradford have had, consistent pressure, using the ball in the right way. I think Derbyshire there should not be offside. He's looking right across the line. It's a great little kind of reverse ball from Kevin McDonald, putting him in. The linesman's right in front of him, so again it goes in the defensive favour as well when Derbyshire's the first shot that the linesman sees. It was a very tight one, but again he has plenty of time to actually be even a yard onside and get in behind. But Bradford definitely improved in that last 4 or 5 minutes there. They just need to be more consistent with the pressure again, turning down the opportunity to put the cross in. Lewis Richards, even Bobby Poynton as well.
Here's Amos going down under pressure from Smallwood. No free kick, says the referee. That is going to be a throw-in for Bradford City, midway point of their own half. Looking at Bradford's home record last season, they drew too many games really to be even further up the table. They could have been challenging for automatic, but 10 draws here at this stadium. Only 4 defeats, and they've given the ball away. Here come Grimsby on from halfway with Malarkey, the right back. He's got Nahua in support level with the edge of the area. Nahua forced to go back a few yards. Malarkey, there's 3 in black and white stripes waiting for a cross. In it comes from Malarkey. It was going to be comfortably headed clear by Halliday. Over the head of Derbyshire. Walker sprinting to get there for Bradford, and he will get the second ball courtesy of Halliday down right near to us and our commentary position in front of the technical areas, and Walker wins a throw for Bradford. 0-0.
Been really impressed with Brad Halliday. I think more often than not, always the right decision, always on the move. Can he go forward? I think he releases the ball, but defensively gets into position as well. Really impressed. Always talking, always communicating as well down this right hand side.
Here's Nahua for Grimsby. Isa's calling for it left-hand side of the area, but he goes down the right side of the box for Rose. The cross across the face of goal is palmed away under pressure by Lewis, and then a Bradford player just comes in and whacks it out of play for a Grimsby throw, and suddenly Danny Rose breaking down the right-hand side of the box almost pulled it back for Isa. 0-0.
Yeah, it was excellent play from Grimsby there. I think Noor, the little kind of reverse pass, the run from Danny Rose, and that's when Isa's got to come alive. He's got to get across the face of the goalkeeper there, and it's in the back of the net. Just has to make the connection, but Danny Rose picked it across, got the power, whipped it across the face of goal there. Isa just caught on his heels and then is reacting to it rather than anticipating.
Paul Hurst knows Abo Isa well. When he was bringing him to Grimsby, he's played for him before. I think he played for him at Shrewsbury in that spell that Paul Hurst had in League One days. So he's well aware of what Isa can do. 4 in 8 for his new club Grimsby Town, having left Bradford City in the summer. Just over 5 minutes to half time on game day. EFL live on Talksport 2. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 0 in League 2. Grimsby in possession with Niall Mayer just in front of his own 18-yard line for Grimsby. Finds Danny Amos, one of the few players booked in this first half. Long ball downfield, almost catches out Sam Stubbs, but he heads the ball clear under pressure from Danny Rose. Derbyshire gets a flicker on halfway, but it's prevented from getting into Jamie Walker's clutches by Niall Mayer, and that'll be a throw-in to Grimsby Town.
Again, I don't mind that, Ian, when the ball does come from back to front from Derby. Derbyshire won the header there, and it was both Walker and Poynton were in advanced areas of Derbyshire. So again, both gambling that he is going to go and win that header. Probably better that you have one gambling in behind and one picking up the second balls if he doesn't quite win it. But he was successful in the header there, won that aerial duel.
Throwing on halfway to Grimsby. Danny Amos to take it, just down beneath our commentary position, in front of the two dugouts. Looking down the left-hand side for Rose, who gets a good contact on the header infield, but Clifton can't pick up the second ball. And Harry Lewis, the Bradford keeper, will smack it downfield left-footed. Looking for Derbyshire, but it's a good, strong header from Harvey Rogers at the back for Grimsby. Now, Malarkey into the feet of Nahua, but snapping into the challenge was Stubbs. And Camille Conte now receives the ball for Grimsby on halfway. Long ball downfield, looking for Clifton. Chest it down. Nahua. He's got Isa calling for it left-hand corner of the box, but what a challenge from Matty Platt just to keep it away from danger, at least temporarily from Bradford's point of view, because Grimsby have it back once again. Looking to force the issue at the end of this first half. 0-0 the score on Talksport 2. Holohan out on the far side of the field. Clips the ball back to Rogers on halfway. He gets his head up. Rose just pulling away for a moment from the attentions of Platt. He's got a bit of space to work in, but they're not looking for him at the moment. Up front for Grimsby, indeed. Bradford win it back, but Lewis Richards just fires the ball downfield and bounces twice through to the Grimsby keeper, Eastwood. 0-0.
Yeah, I think it was all Grimsby there. You know, it was very comfortable. Bradford were defensively without the ball. You know, Grimsby, they do have to move the ball a little bit quicker. If it's 1v1, can that player get past his man and then commit another one, move them around? I just feel that, yeah, the passing's a little bit kind of needs to have a little bit more tempo, a little bit more whip and movement in the pass, a little bit laboured, I have to say. And Bradford are comfortable, just kind of shuffling around. Some good challenges coming in there, but just needs a little bit more intensity from Grimsby in possession.
Mayer for Grimsby on the halfway line. To his right is his centre half partner Rogers. He fires the ball right-footed out to this near side, looking for Isa, but Halliday there again, but his header only finds Danny Amos, the Grimsby left back. He drills a ball to the right-hand corner of the box. What control from Nahua. Gives it back to Malarkey. First time ball into the box. Rose! It's 1-0 Grimsby Town! Great ball in from Toby Malarkey for the right-hand side. Danny Rose 6 yards out. Planted the header beyond Harry Lewis. And as we approach the break, Grimsby lead. The skill from Nahua at first in the build-up was fantastic, but the ball in from Malarkey was just aching to be headed home. Rose duly obliged. It's 1-0 to the Mariners.
Love to say it's an excellent goal. I think Grimsby have been the better team. Anua's touch, excellent. Malarkey cross, I don't know why they haven't done it time and time again when they've had opportunity to. And then Danny Rose finds himself in space, and it's an excellent header from Danny Rose. Just heads it down, up above the ball, knows exactly where the goal is, into the bottom left-hand corner. And Harry Lewis doesn't have a chance there, but everything about the goal was excellent. Amos with a big switch of play. Anua with that, Nahua with the excellent control, the way to pass to Malarkey, and then just the quality of the cross. Header was outstanding, and I think it's deserved.
I was only saying in commentary not 2 minutes ago that Rose was just pulling into a couple of yards of space away from Matty Platt as Grimsby were building up play, and he was in space in between two Bradford centre halves to head Grimsby in front here on Talksport 2 as we approach half-time. That's his second goal of the season. Danny Rose, who joined in June from Stevenage.
Well, this isn't a position that Grimsby haven't been in many times already this season.
Once again, they score first.
Exactly. So it's about now how they manage the game. This will be the catalyst. Now, Bradford have to react to going behind, and it was probably in the best moment for them as well. They were actually coming into the game a lot more, so it's a great time to score just before the half-time whistle as well.
We're about to find out how many minimum minutes of added time there'll be at the end of this first period. Fourth official down beneath us, Martin Brown, just about to hold up the board. We're going into 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time right now on Talksport 2. At the end of this first half, Grimsby lead at Bradford. So as it stands, Grimsby are going to just climb into the League 2 playoff positions ahead of this afternoon's 3 o'clock kickoffs. And they've won a free kick after a push on the goal scorer, just shy of the halfway line. And a free kick, and Mark Hughes is cutting a very frustrated figure down beneath us, Chris Iwelumo.
Well, he's had a proper go at Danny Rose there as well. There was a few words back and forth. It was quite interesting. I think it was a very soft soft one. I think the official has to be consistent in that. Some he's letting go and he's pulling some up. So
well, let's face it, Mark Hughes never went down cheaply, did he?
No,
in his playing days,
not at all.
So we're into the 4 minutes. In fact, one of those minutes has already gone of added time at the end of this first half on Talksport 2. If you're just tuning in, Grimsby have just got their noses in front through the head of Danny Rose, right in front of goal, planting a header beyond Harry Lewis. And we didn't talk that much about the skill from Nahua in the build-up, because the ball was fizzed across to him from left to right, and he pulled it out of the sky, and it was chest height when he pulled it down, killed it stone dead, and that's what allowed him to set up Malarkey for the first time cross.
Well, and he's getting marshalled by a defender as well. I don't know if it was Kieran Carey or Lewis Richards as well, but he's actually turned his back on the ball and taken it down with the laces of his right boot, and then just the set to Malarkey as well was excellent. But that's what created the space. As soon as he controlled it, it moved Bradford out of position. It committed players, and that's what created the space for Danny Rose for that excellent cross from Malarkey.
Now Amos has gone down holding his face, the Grimsby left back, and he's going to need some treatment. I think he's just caught a little arm or flailing boot in the face, maybe. Nothing intentional, I don't think, but he's going to need some treatment. And of course, now that he's getting treatment, when he goes off, he has to wait 30 seconds before he can re-enter the field of play. This is another directive that's been brought in to stop spurious bits of treatment for players.
Well, there you go, and it makes sense. It means then you're telling your physio, no, you know what, I'll wipe it off myself and get up. And it's about the ball and play time, isn't it? That's what we want to see. I'm surprised that Bradford haven't really put pressure on Daniel Amos. He's received that yellow card. He is quite rash with his challenges. So again, put him in the position that he's got a decision to make.
Yeah, he's just might be a suspicion of a little bit of blood from the nose of Danny Amos, and that's why the physios have been allowed on. They're just holding his nose.
So does that mean that he doesn't need to stay off for 30 seconds?
I think that might be the case. I think he might be allowed to enter sooner than that, because they're just making sure that there's no blood flowing from the nose and that he doesn't need a change of shirt or anything like that. It might help if he has to change his shirt, because those red numbers on the back of the black and white striped shirts are an absolute devil to make out, aren't they, Chris Llewellyn?
No, they are. They are, definitely.
Whatever happened to the little white panels on the back of shirts to make seeing the numbers easier? Got lovely little claret panels on the back of the Bradford shirts, makes their numbers very easy to see. I'm just an old stick in the mud.
Well, these little stoppages as well, it just plays into Grimsby's hands as well. Bradford are trying to react, they're trying to kind of get a foothold, trying to create some intensity around the place, give the fans something to shout about, and it's just stop, start. So Paul Hurst will be absolutely delighted with all this.
Back underway with an uncontested drop ball that Harvey Rogers fires downfield to allow Bradford possession back. Kelly swoops the ball up to halfway, chested down by Matt Derbyshire, but he couldn't find a teammate. It's one back for Grimsby, who are temporarily down to 10 with Gavin Holohan. Now Nahua, and then great skill on that right-hand side from Arthur Nahua, just trying to wriggle his way past Smallwood, but he's hauled him down as he tried to make tracks down that right wing. And it's a free kick to Bradford. Rose is back on. We've played the 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time, but there'll be a bit more to play before the half-time whistle goes here, with Grimsby 1-0 up on Talksport 2, courtesy of Danny Rose's header.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Mark Hughes there'll be a few harsh words said. Very, very too relaxed. You've already said about the playing with a handbrake on. He has to let the players go out and express themselves. Play higher up. That defensive line has a responsibility of stepping up and pushing the midfield line on, the attacking line. I think it's going to go to a 2 in the second half, and just have the one in behind, whoever that may be. Probably Derbyshire, I think, would be better suited for that position. Picks up those little areas, but asked the question in behind from the likes of a Walker and Poynton, who are both very mobile players and can cause a lot of problems.
Walker goes down as he tried to collect, or Derbyshire rather goes down as he tried to collect a long ball downfield. It just bounced off his chest and went out of play for a throw-in to Grimsby, trying to see out this first half, and indeed the referee blows the whistle. You can hear a few boos around us here at the University of Bradford Stadium, but the Grimsby fans, both opposite us and in the Dallas stand to our right, delighted with the scoreline, because Grimsby lead by a 1-0 late in the first half. A header from Danny Rose's second league goal of the season. Super first time cross from the right hand corner of the area by Toby Malarkey, and rose right in front of goal. Really couldn't miss. Duly obliged after would have been a scrappy 40 minutes or so before that. And Bradford missing top goal scorer Andy Cook, also missing other players who are out like Tyler Smith and Verdane Oliver. They're looking a little shot shy, Chris Uwelemo.
Well, you're saying even if Andy Cook is involved, it's about being in positions that you're creating opportunities, and they haven't really created much at all. So that's a disappointing fact. The home record is definitely in a position that it could change. Grimsby, I have to say, I think have a potential, a motivational tool. Can they get into the playoffs with other results going their way? They're completely in control of this game. They've shown time and time again that they don't see games out. So again, I think Paul Hurst has to say, look, I want you to go out and do the exact same. You're winning all second balls. You're all competent with the ball. In the final third, can we get some more crosses in, because they've got the energy and bodies in numbers getting themselves into positions in the 18-yard box.
But as you've said, you mentioned it in commentary, Grimsby have yet to go behind in a league game this season, but they've also dropped far too many points from winning positions. So Paul Hurst half-time team talk, I assume, is going to be all about that.
But I think if the players know themselves, so I think for a manager, I don't think you bring attention to it. I think you it's all about what they've done well in that first half. Look, you've controlled the game, you've won your first headers, you've won your aerial duels, you've picked up probably 90% of the second balls, and then you've had moments of quality in that attacking third. I think if he brings attention to what they've done and what they've done in previous games, it just brings a nervousness to the group. When they go out, they start straight away. When you're winning a game, you automatically start defending a little bit deeper. You give the opposition more space in those attacking areas, and I think that's so important that right across the back, you're looking at Harvey Rogers, Maher, Amos and Malarkey. Can they step up and make sure that they're defending well, but in a higher area as well? So I think both managers have a lot to do when you talk about the tactics.
Chris Uwelemo, for the time being, thank you very much. You're listening to Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. So a rose has caused a thorny problem for Mark Hughes here at the University of Bradford Stadium. We'll check in with Joe Shannon and Mickey Gray, our commentary team, at the racecourse in a few short moments. Wrexham taking on Doncaster at 3, live on Talksport 2. But the half-time score here in West Yorkshire is Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 1.
Join the Football Collective.
EFL Game Day Live
on Talksport 2.
Worried about how you're going to pay your mortgage? You're not alone. That's why your mortgage lender is ready to offer you support. And everyone can contact their lender for help. All you have to do is reach out. The sooner you get in touch with them, the better. Reach out to your lender by visiting their website today. Reaching out won't affect your credit score.
As Helen opened her Amazon parcel, her stomach filled with butterflies, rapid air technology and a grill mode feature. This air fryer tickled Helen's taste buds for a price lower than she'd ever imagined. 5 stars from Helen. Find star-rated products at star prices. Start your search on Amazon today.
The Monopoly game is back at McDonald's. And guess what? It's still twice as nice. Because with double peel, you can peel on pack, then peel again on the McDonald's app to win prizes like brand new mini electrics, lovely McDonald's food, HP Omen gaming laptops, TUI holiday vouchers, £1,000 in cash, plus tons of other incredible prizes. 18 plus, UK only. Selected items subject to serving times and availability. End 17th of October. Gameplay and price claims may require McDonald's app. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to dance. That's 10 more robots, 10 more limbos, 10 more salsas. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires this Friday. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Count terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
The Social with Adi Oladipo and Rory Jennings. Weekday afternoons from 3 on Talksport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least.
I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
and some phenomenal guests.
If you can't get in this squad after showing the form he showed, I don't think it looks too good for him.
This is the place to be.
It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on Talksport 2.
What a goal!
The Social.
Weekday afternoons from 3.
It just works, doesn't it? On Talksport 2. It's the totally immersive football experience.
Tucked in at the near post.
EFL Game Day Live
On Talksport 2.
Stacey's in, and it's in! Elliot Lee touches it home inside 8 minutes.
It's incredible. The noise around the club's incredible. It's kind of like, I kind of describe it a bit like a circus. You just don't know what's going to happen next.
And there's the opening goal. Wood, the captain, with a captain's goal.
We need every single one of them to deliver the game plan. We can't have any passengers.
Swept in with real pace and power. It's in. It's a brilliant little flick header. James McLean.
Make sure that we enjoy kind of everything which comes with being part of the Wrexham story, but equally doesn't detract from the real work on a day-to-day basis.
Chance and it's in! Headed into the back of the net, and Doncaster have got a lifeline.
We know we're in a results business, and we want to see more wins on the board.
To be on this roller coaster, on this journey, it's amazing, and I'm just glad that I'm part of it.
We can't ask for much more. We just want to make sure that we improve on the results that we've seen over the first 6 games. And let's see where we go.
You're listening to Game Day EFL Live on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL. I'm Ian Danter at the University of Bradford Stadium, where Chris Willamos just brought me some chips and a cup of tea. It's a shame I've got to talk to Joe Shedd and Mickey Gray at Wrexham, in fairness, Chris. That's very kind of you. I'll get to those in a minute, fella, if that's all right with you.
An absolute pleasure.
But let's have a chat with Joe Shedd and Mickey Gray, who have presumably had their chips and are getting ready for Wrexham Doncaster at 3 o'clock. How are you, boys?
We're doing well. We've had some luxurious sandwiches. It's nice and hot, dance, as it is all across the country, I think. It's about 30 degrees here in North Wales. Mickey's just getting his can sorted out, but we are camped in place here in the main stand. It's a new ground for me, which is always exciting. Just had a nice walk around. Pitch side, it's very hot. The sun is shining. Pitch is absolutely bathed in sunshine. So yeah, really looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing Wrexham in action, of course. So much chat about them this season in League 2. And Doncaster need a first league win of the campaign. So there's lots to play for both.
Indeed. I don't suppose there's any bigger star inside the racecourse than Mickey Gray today. Even if, I mean,
no one more tan, I don't think.
Probably not. Funny enough, I was there. I'm like you, Joe. I had my first visit to Wrexham at the start of the season, and Hugh Jackman showed up. I mean, how random is that? Wolverine suddenly pops along to watch a bit of League 2 football. So be prepared for anything, Mickey, to try and outdo you in the tan stakes this afternoon. But, Mickey, I loved going to Wrexham. It was such an entertaining game, even though Wrexham lost 5-2. Oddly, they seem to be in it for most of the game against MK Dons. And goals are the name of the game with Wrexham this season, aren't they?
Well, Dance, I think we can probably call them the entertainers certainly over the last couple of seasons, can't we? The amount of goals that they've got and some of the scores that we've seen from them this season. They're doing the right thing by putting it in the back of the net, the forward players, but they've got to try and keep it out of their own net if they're going to try and start to climb up this table. But yeah, look, it's exciting times here. I think it's a club that everybody is speaking about, and that's why we're here today. And look, I think we were chatting off air saying, can you imagine if it's a 0-0 draw today? I think we can guarantee that it won't be.
Oh, that's a bold claim from Mickey Gray before we even get going. But yeah, they have been very excited. They've had to do it without Paul Mullin in these early weeks, and I know he's still not quite fit and not ready to take his part in the squad yet, so other players are having to step up in his absence.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Palmer's getting himself, and Dalby as well, the two forward players. But I think when you think about how many goals that they got last season, and Mullin, I mean, he was the go-to man, wasn't he? It seemed like every single week when you saw the score of Wrexham come through, he was scoring goals. But we know he got that injury in pre-season against Manchester United, so we're still waiting to see him this season. So as you said there before, Dan, people have had to come up and they've got to step up to the plate. Lee in midfield is obviously the goal scorer this season, which is great for Wrexham. But just coming into the ground, there's an expectation at this stadium now, Dan, as if they're coming in to be entertained. And as you talked about there, the people who are coming to this stadium, Hugh Jackman, you just have to look at the owners as well. It's got that pizzazz about it at the moment, yeah. And you want to see entertaining football, and there's no doubt we're going to get it this afternoon.
Grant McCann seems to have this sort of strange triangle of clubs, Joe, that he looks after. Bit of Doncaster, bit of Hull, bit of Peterborough, and then starts the cycle all over again. It's Doncaster at the moment. He's not having a great time of it. Did we learn much from that that game we brought you on Talksport 2 when they took the lead against Everton in the Carabao Cup but ended up coming away with nothing? Did we learn that there's a bit about them this season that belies their no points in the league?
I think so. I think for one thing, we're only 6 games into the league campaign, and I think anybody in football will tell you that is too early to judge exactly where a team is going to end up. Of course, you don't want to be in a position where you're without a win in your first 6 league games. Of course you don't. But I think Grant McCann will have been looking at recent results, yes, and feeling disappointed, but he'll look at the last 2 performances and say, as you've alluded to, Dan, so there's something to build on. I think the Everton performance was excellent. They were the better side in the first half against Sean Dyche's team, and then of course Everton's superior Premier League quality eventually told in that game, but it was a narrow exit in the Carabao Cup for Doncaster. I think what will have also encouraged him will have been the resilience that they showed last weekend against Swindon, who are still a team unbeaten so far this season in League 2. They had Tommy Rowe sent off, did Doncaster, right on half-time, but they managed to hold out for a goalless draw at home. It's a point gained, it's a clean sheet, a first league clean sheet of the season so far for Doncaster Rovers too. So all of this is something, even if you look at it in small details, they're not quite getting results yet, but these performances are something to build on.
The thing that worries me, Dan and Joe, is where they finished last season. They're on a downward slide.
Yeah.
Changing managers as well. And that's a concern to me. Yeah, it's okay turning up against a side like Everton, who had their problems, there's no question about that, and performing against the Premier League side, because you always up your game. You want to try and prove yourself against the best players who are playing in the best division. Yeah. But when you're not winning football matches, you're conceding goals, there's a big concern.
Lads, wrap up warm and take care, and try not to outshine too many Hollywood starlets this afternoon, Mickey, if you don't mind.
Try my best.
Take it easy, boys. Joe Shannon and Mickey Gray will be your commentary team at the racecourse. And Mickey said it won't be 0-0. He doesn't bock it often, and he won't today. That's our live offering at 3 o'clock here on Talksport 2. Wrexham against Doncaster from League 2. We've already brought you 45 minutes of football here in West Yorkshire at the University of Bradford Stadium, and the Mariners have their noses in front. We're underway to kick off game day across the Talksport network. Nahua goes for goal, and it's spilt out to the left-hand side, and as he goes behind for a corner. What control from Nahua. Gives it back to Malarkey. First on ball into the box. Rose! It's 1-0 Grimsby Town. And as we approach the break, Grimsby lead.
It's an excellent header from Danny Rose, and I think it's deserved.
Well, here at the University of Bradford Stadium, Chris Uwelimo alongside me gave notice that there were changes afoot at the break for Bradford, and indeed there are 2 players waiting to be introduced. Chris, Alex Gilliard is one of those, and Ryan Tulloch on loan from West Brom is the other. And I think your old mate Kevin McDonald is one of those that's bitten the dust after that first half.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's a concern as well. I don't think there was really much in any challenges. I don't remember him going off or hobbling, but just again with what he's went through with the transplant, this heat, it can be quite exhausting as well, so hopefully everything's okay there, but again the game definitely needed some fresh legs coming on, asking different questions, and I think Bradford have to come to the party. I don't think they've showed up yet, so they have to put pressure on this Grimsby side, who in my opinion are completely in control, but they can't be complacent in any way in this second half.
Well, Alex Gilliard has come on for Kieran Kelly, who was one of those players out there on the pitch on a yellow card. And Ryan Tulloch has indeed come on for Kevin McDonald. So I sense a shift in formation here, Chris, because Gilliard's a midfielder. There's a centre-half that's gone off. So it looks like Bradford may well be going to a back 4 in this second half. We'll get the second half underway and sort of pick the bones out of the formation that Mark Hughes has gone for in this second half. So 2 on, 2 off. McDonald and Kelly off. Tulloch and Gilliard on for the Bantams. No changes for Grimsby, who start this second half in front by a 0-0, wearing their black and white striped shirts, black shorts and red socks. Bradford in the claret and amber hoops, white shorts and socks. They're kicking from right to left as we look in the main stand, and they'll be heading Bradford for the cop stand that they like to do in the second half of home matches. Just waiting for the referee to get his instructions from the television director that we can get things underway, and indeed we do now for the second half, live and free here on your home of the EFL Talksport 2. And straight away, Bobby Poynton making his full debut, flicks the ball out to Halliday. Early cross into the box, cleared away by Harvey Rogers. And inside 15 seconds of the second half, Bradford looking more lively, and they win themselves a corner kick. Extraordinary. 1-0 Grimsby.
Well, like I say, I think it's always important to come out. You know that there's going to be a lively start the second half for the team that's always behind. Excellent play from Halliday, asking that question. Great cross that was defended well, I have to say, but then winning the second ball, keeping the pressure on and winning a corner, but they have to be effective from these moments.
Corner kick for Bradford, swung in to 6 yards out, headed up in the air by Stubbs, and a comfortable catch for Jake Eastwood. So Lewis in goal for Bradford. I reckon it's now Halliday, Platt, Stubbs and Richards in a back four. Smallwood, Tulloch, Derbyshire, Gilead in midfield, Walker and Poynton up front. For Grimsby, Eastwood in goal, Malarkey, Rogers, Mayer and Amos in a back four. Consey holding, and then Nahua, Holohan, Clifton and Isa behind Rose, the goal scorer, up top in a 4-1-4-1 formation. And Grimsby have won a free kick with Conte just getting a nudge in the back as he tried to win a header just inside his own half. Grimsby's away record last season, pretty good. 1-9 but lost 11 on their travels away from Blundell Park last season. They've not won in this area of West Yorkshire since 1997. That was the days when Clive Mendonca was plying his trade for Grimsby Town. In it goes into the box. Rogers wanted to get ahead on it for Grimsby, but it went way over his head. It was struck too harshly downfield, in truth, by Danny Amos. And Bradford have a goal kick. And Harry Lewis urges the ball boy behind that goal to get the ball back quickly. Is he going to take the goal kick, or is Matty Platt going to take it? Does look like they've gone to a back four, though, doesn't it, Bradford City, Chris Awilamo?
Yeah, I think I understand why. It just gives you that extra player in the attacking area as well when you go to a four, so it's going to be an interesting one. Definitely pose no threat in the attacking third, Bradford, and I think he's tweaked the system a little bit to try and get more bodies in that attacking third, but also there needs to be service coming in as well, which is something I'm sure would have been the message given to full-backs, wide men, whatever you want to call it.
Bradford coming forward down the right-hand side with Brad Halliday. Lovely little reverse ball. Gilead gets involved down by the dead ball line, rolls it back to Poynton. Poynton back for a first-on cross from Smallwood, just goes behind Walker. Hurried clearance from Malarkey for Grimsby, gets it out of harm's way for the visitors, but Bradford have won the ball back. This is much better already in these early stages of the restart from the Bantams, but they still trail by a goal to nil.
No, it isn't. It's about just doing the basics well. You know, I think winning your duels, that's the second ball for me. You know, I think Grimsby defending well, but every clearance, every header, it's fallen to a Bradford shot. You know, I think they're contesting, and it's about being competitive, and that's something that was very, very lacking in the first half from Bradford.
Walker out to the Bradford left, the near side to us. Lewis Richards comes in field, runs into Malarkey, who fouls him, and it's a free kick to Bradford. Referee just trots over to make sure there's no afters between Malarkey and Richards, but it will be a Bradford free kick just beyond the midway point of the Grimsby half, to the left of centre. Chance for Jamie Walker to bend one in with his right foot maybe, and trying to get something in between centre halves and goalkeeper and see who can profit, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think, listen to this place now. You know, they see their team going out there, being competitive, putting Grimsby on the back foot, and it's all about capitalising when you're on top, putting the ball in the back of the net when you're putting this pressure on the opposing team.
In it comes from Walker, deep terrible to the far post, but overhit, but somewhat flapped at by Eastwood, and it's gone behind in the end, and Bradford have got away with that. They've got a corner for what was a poor free kick delivery.
It was a terrible free kick from Walker coming in there, but I've got to say, Jake Eastwood as well, I don't even think he has to come out for that. It's going out to play. You know, I think I'm trying to think who it is that's going round. I think, was it Platt? I think going round. I don't think he's going to keep that one alive, and the goalkeeper was up 2 metres high, if not more, flapping at that.
I think it was Stubbs that ended up colliding almost with his own goalkeeper. So it will be another corner for Bradford City, where the Kop meets the Midland Road stand over on the far side of the field from us. Left-footed in swinger. Up goes Stubbs at the far post, heads it against Rogers, and behind for another corner. Third corner in quick succession at the start of the second half for Bradford City, but they're still 1-0 down.
Not keeping the pressure on, and this, like you say, it just puts Grimsby under that pressure. I've got to say, an excellent corner in, very, very well worked. Stubbs free-headed at the back area, and all he's trying to do, Ian, is put it back into that danger area. Not go for goal, just put it back in where the numbers are.
Walker with the latest corner for Bradford. Fizzes across the 6-yard box, and it's nicked away just in time for Grimsby by Danny Rose, the goal scorer. Comes out to the right-hand side. Halliday puts the ball into the box, looking for Walker. Brilliant header behind from Malarkey. Yet another corner. 4 corners at the start of the second half for Bradford City. 1-0 Grimsby.
See, this is the thing, I think that now they've reacted well, they've started the second half well, but start the game like this, Ian. Get the fans right behind you.
Here comes the corner from Walker. Heads go up at the far post, guided down for Halliday to drive it in from the right-hand corner of the box, but it's blocked by Grimsby legs. Comes out to the halfway line, and Conte did really well to get the header in ahead of Richards, but there was nobody up there with him in a striped shirt, and so the Claret and Amber Hoops have it back. Halliday, long ball downfield, but it's too long and too straight for Derbyshire, who throws a withering look at Halliday as it bounces through to Jake Eastwood. So have Grimsby ridden out the storm at the start of this second half. 6 gone after the restart. It's still Bradford 0, Grimsby 1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I think Paul Huss will be happy. They've defended well when they've had to. Some last-ditch little headers, just nicking it away. Yeah, conceding the corner, but I think defended very well from both.
Ball bounces in the middle of the
Bradford
half, and Stubbs got there just ahead of Rose. Long ball downfield, asking Derbyshire to give Jason Poynton, and Eastwood for Grimsby has to come out to the edge of his penalty area and volley out of play for a throw to Bradford, which Halliday's going to take. Throws it into Bobby Poynton, remember, just 19 years of age, the Bradford number 23, making his full debut this afternoon for the Bantams. Richards, good skill from Lewis Richards, cuts infield, looking for an option down the left-hand side, and he was brought down by Conte, and the referee wants to book Camille Conte for that challenge. Another Grimsby player going into the notebook. Another free kick to Bradford from a very similar situation to the one that wasn't delivered too well by Jamie Walker a moment or so ago. Yellow card issued to Conte. So again, midway point of the half, quite a way to the left of centre for Bradford City's free kick.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think it needs to be better quality coming in. Fantastic play from Lewis Richards and Tulloch just linking up there. Tulloch, fantastic athleticism as well, just taking it away, moving the ball, invited that challenge from Conte, and like you say, I think rightfully so the yellow card comes out. But from these moments, from these dead ball situations, the ball has to be quality coming in. Yes, beat the first man, put it right on top of the goalkeeper already. Eastwood, I think he's coming out flapping at a few things, so put it right on top of him with so many bodies running across the face of him. Sometimes they just drift in the back.
Smallwood to take this kick. The Bradford captain doesn't beat the first defender. Chris Awelamo's absolutely right. Comes out to Lewis Richards, centre of the Grimsby half, gives it back to his captain, and Smallwood fires it along the deck back to the halfway line for Halliday to bring it forward for the home side. Out to the right wing. Now Gilead making a strong run, clips the ball into the area, gets it back. Poor clearance from Conte. First time cross from Poynton, hooked away by Harvey Rogers.
It was 3 Bradford shots against 2 Grimsby in the 6-yard box here. So get your head up when the ball's coming in there. I don't know if it was Halliday.
It was Halliday who had the ball at his feet. And Bradford have it inside their own half with Sam Stubbs, son of Alan.
Great ball.
Former Everton stalwart, and it's a great ball out to Poynton on the right-hand side. Poynton cuts infield, he went for goal, it's deflected up in the air, and it's yet another corner for Bradford City at the Cop End. 1-0 Grimsby.
Well, it's what, like you say, 19 years old, good first touch. I think before he receives the ball, he knows he wants to get the shot away there. But you take responsibility. Good little block defensively. Derbyshire a little bit too relaxed for me, because that's bouncing the 6-yard box, only a couple of metres from Derbyshire. Watching it go out for the corner, try and keep it alive.
Walker with this latest corner, and before it's actually struck, there was a push in the area, and the referee blew his whistle just as Walker was addressing the ball. So he's going to get another chance to take this corner. Stubbs went down, and I think he's having a word with Clifton and Stubbs about pushing and shoving in the 6-yard area, because it's a right-footed in-swinger that Walker's sending in for Bradford. And there's still a lot of ducking and diving going on around the goal line. And it's Mayer and Stubbs in direct confrontation. In comes the corner kick, and Rogers flicks it away for Grimsby, but Poynton retrieves it for Bradford on the far side of the field. Back for Halliday. First time ball into the box. It's kept down by Matty Platt, but he couldn't turn and shoot and fire it goalwards. Grimsby clear to the halfway line, and they still lead the Mariners by a goal to nil.
We'll talk to him about that, Ian, because I think Poynton kept the ball alive. Great little set for Halliday. I think it's an excellent ball in. And Platt takes a great touch, and then he's winding the left foot up to kind of swivel and spin round about the penalty spot of the 18-yard line. But he's definitely on to get the shot, and it's like he pulls his foot away when the Grimsby defender comes in to make the challenge. I think he's either got to take a sore one there, put the foot through it, get the shot away, and you just never know. Penalty kick, whatever it may be, but he's definitely going to get the shot away before the defensive challenge comes in.
11 minutes gone in the second half on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 1 in League 2. Another League 2 commentary to come at 3 o'clock here. And we'll get team news in the next 10 minutes or so from the racecourse ground for that commentary match, Wrexham against Doncaster. And don't forget, from 4 o'clock this afternoon, all the build-up and then live commentary over on Talksport of Ukraine against England in the Euro qualifiers from Wrocław in Poland, with Adrian Durham, Stuart Pearce, Jim Proudfoot and Faye Carruthers, your team at the stadium in Wrocław. And then a game day phone-in from 7:30 tonight, a little bit later, with Jamie O'Hara and Jermaine Pennant. Ball given away by Bradford on halfway. It's one back well by Clifton. Finds Danny Rose. Rose plays it to his left looking for Isa. He was caught late, Danny Rose, by Platt as he released the ball. And it will be a free kick pretty much right in the centre of the Bradford City half for Grimsby Town, who lead by a goal to nil. Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think excellent play there from Grimsby as well. Danny Rose riding a couple of challenges. The ref, he's played on in the right moment as well, and then there was a strong challenge, but I think, was it Lewis Richards there in good possession of the ball? I know he's trying to play and ask that question in behind, but you know, it's a sloppy pass right in the middle of right on the halfway line as well, when all those players are committed and really kind of left themselves open defensively there, Bradford. So just need to be a little bit better in possession of the ball.
There is a Grimsby wall, a two-man wall set up ahead of the D. Gives you an idea just how far out this free kick is. But Arthur Nahua might actually fancy this. The way he's shaping to hit it left-footed, I think he fancies a crack at goal here. The Grimsby number 14. Conte moves away from the ball. It is Nahua. Instead, he chips it to the far post. There's nobody there in a black and white striped shirt. Just bounces behind once. And that's a Bradford goal kick, 1-0 to Grimsby.
Well, there's no Grimsby players that have made that run in behind. He's tried a little reverse pass. I thought, if anything, if it's one straight off the training ground, it's a little reverse pass into body or feet to the centre-backs who have both came to show for it. So I just think a little bit of miscommunication there, Ian.
Grimsby were 14 points off 7th place last season, the final playoff spot, despite placing 11th. There was a real gap between those challenging for the top 7 places and mid-table in League 2 last season. They were up in 8th mid-September, Grimsby. Harvey Rogers almost made an absolute Horlicks of that. In fact, it worked out well for the goalkeeper.
Did he not mean that?
The ball just bounced over his right shin, but deflected into the path of the goalkeeper. And then Eastwood's given the ball away, put it out of play for a Bradford throw, 10 yards from the corner flag. That was fairly comical from Grimsby Town at the back, but they still lead by a goal to nil. Bradford's throw in front of the Midland Road stand opposite us. Halliday and Gilly trying to combine. Halliday keeping the ball tight to his right foot, finds Matty Platt. Platt looks for his captain Smallwood. Smallwood manages to smuggle the ball through a little gap but can't find Gilly. It's out of play for another Bradford throw, far side.
Very, very scrappy again there. You're looking at, like you say, Harvey Rogers. He's actually put the right foot through it, but the spin on the balls went behind him to Jake Eastwood, whose distribution for me today has been not too bad, but again, giving it away, just inviting Bradford onto them. And that's what I'm saying about Grimsby. When they're in the leading games, they have to make better decisions. Bradford fire the ball out to the right-hand side, and Bobby Poynton
Looking to play a 1-2. He's just got him behind for a moment. Brings the ball down beautifully at the sky. Right-hand corner of the box. Points and goes for goal. It's wild and slashed across the ball and goes out of play for a goal kick to Grimsby Town, away to our left-hand side in bright sunshine once again here in West Yorkshire as we tick round past the hour mark on Talksport 2. Bradford City 0, Grimsby Town 1. Here's Chris Llewellyn.
Yeah, I thought it was, he's taking responsibility, Pointing, linking up well with Halliday, the little give and go, little dink pass from Halliday to get him behind. Good close control from Pointing. As soon as he brings it across and he's coming across the 18-yard line, he wants to get the shot away. But it's a bit more about accuracy than power. It's about that kind of connection, that technique. And he's just lashed at it, and it's went miles wide, especially when there's bodies in the box as well. Make sure you ask the question of the likes of Eastwood there. The save can go anywhere, and you've got bodies in there, the likes of Walker and Derbyshire, that can react to it and maybe get an opportunity.
Back it goes to Jake Eastwood, the Grimsby Town goalkeeper, who clips the ball right-footed downfield. Down goes Rose, under no great pressure from Platt, who wins the header. Rogers picks up the loose ball in the centre circle for Grimsby. Shovels it to his right for Malarkey. Malarkey slides a lovely ball down the right side of the area. Almost snaked its way through to Holohan, but it was a good interception by Sam Stubbs in the end. It's out of play for a throw. Again, Malarkey, for me, great energy. I think both right backs have done well today. Quality of pass as well. He's up and down. It's a great ball. He's trying to thread it through a very small area for Holohan, who's making that run in behind. But he's been ever present, hasn't he? Bradford trying to bring the ball away, but Richards is dispossessed by Holohan. Throw to Grimsby, who lead by a 0 and will be going into the playoff places if they hold on to these 3 points and end up with 12 from their first 7 played, ahead of all the big games this afternoon. MK Dons Notts County is first against second this afternoon at 3 o'clock at Stadium MK. Joe Shannon will keep you up to date with goals as they go in. There's a couple of League One fixtures as well, but not too many in England's third tier today, with plenty of international call-ups. And speaking of international football, England-Ukraine live at 5 on Talksport. The build-up starts at 4 p.m. inside the stadium in Wrocław with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearson, Faye Carruthers, our team out there in Poland. See whether England can continue their seemingly serene progress towards qualification, a bit like the serene progress Scotland are making towards qualification. Chris Llewellyn. That should be quite a game on Tuesday night on Talksport at Hampden. Definitely. Ball's given away on halfway by Bradford's Jamie Walker. Now Rose getting away into the area right hand side. Sam Stubbs comes across and slides in with a great challenge, but Isa has it back for Grimsby down the left hand side of the box, but he's dispossessed by a strong challenge from Brad Halliday, and Bradford have possession back. Clip down the right hand side. Poynton finds Gillied. Poynton again trying to shrug off the challenge down the left hand side of Amos, and Grimsby won it back. Holohan just runs into trouble. Derbyshire picks up the loose ball. Walker's making tracks on his outside on the right wing. Walker tried to play it back infield. Camille Conte stepped in front of Derbyshire with a strong foot, but then a loose touch from Isa, and it's won back by Bradford, and Tulloch was making a run in from the left hand side, but the ball from Poynton was hit too straight and too firm, straight through to Jake Eastwood, the Grimsby goalkeeper. But there are signs from Bradford City in the second half that there's more about them than there was in the first. Still 1-0 Grimsby though, Chris Llewellyn. Yeah, definitely signs, Ian. I think I think competitive, getting the challenge and winning those second balls, but just that final pass, the quality of that Matt Derbyshire there, when he's trying to play the pass to Walker, it has to be in behind. He's got basically the full half to run in behind. He took a little bit off it, allowed Grimsby, I think it was Amos, to come in and defend well, and Poynton as well just put too much on it. Those little moments, they have to be better, especially when there's no pressure on the player playing the pass as well. I mentioned that Ali McCoist and Andy Townsend back on Monday morning with Talksport Breakfast when you wake up at 6. But if you prefer music to start your day, then don't forget Chris Evans on Virgin every weekday morning from 6:30 in the morning. You might hear from great Scottish bands such as Simple Minds, following their appearances on both Talksport and Virgin last week. See, Chris, we take care of bands north of the border, good, as well as south. I'm sure Texas has been on lately. Oh, if only you could get the sensational Alex Harvey band. If only Alex was still around, that'd be a great Scottish band to get on the air. Your eyes have just glazed over when I mentioned that band's name, hasn't it?
Not at all, not at all.
We'll be off to the racecourse in a minute and get team news from Joe Shannon ahead of our 3 o'clock commentary. Wrexham against Doncaster. But Grimsby, a goal to the good here, have possession with Nahua down at the corner flag of the Dallas end in front of those travelling Grimsby supporters who've got plenty to be happy about at the moment. They've played the ball out, Grimsby. Malarkey thought that Danny Rose was down injured, but he just got to his feet, and so the throw is Bradford's, and they'll just get on with it. They're not going to give the ball back to Grimsby as another substitution is being readied by Bradford. I think Grimsby might be thinking of making changes as well to try and preserve this 1-0 lead that they have. And Bradford take the throw. Lewis Richards throws it in field. Halliday fires it up to Poynton on halfway, clips in field for Gillied. Poynton's gone again. Good strong run from the youngster, making his full debut this afternoon up against Amos, but Gillies made a run, overlapping run down the right, clips the ball into the area, headed back to him from the near post by Holohan, and then Gillied wins a throw down by the corner flag.
Much better. Poynton and Gillied having a really good understanding as well. It's not a great ball, but it's not a terrible ball either. Keeping possession, keeping that pressure on Grimsby. I think they're having to defend very, very well, Grimsby, getting everyone behind the ball.
Well, here comes the change, Chris, and the Villa loanee Chisholm Afoka, just 19 years of age, on loan from Aston Villa. It's his first loan out of the Premier League side. He was a West Bromwich Albion youth before moving to Villa Park, and he comes on for Matt Derbyshire. And despite only being 19 years of age, I think it's fair to say Chisholm Afoka is already quite a unit.
Definitely. Very true.
Very broad of shoulder. Let's see whether he can put himself about and add a more physical threat. And already he's trying to shield the ball and win a corner, and he's done just that. Chisholm Afoka, that's going to get him on the good side of those in the Cop stand away to our left, because Bradford have another corner.
Well, for him himself as well, coming on and straight away having a positive impact. Straight away he's attacking a corner. He's on the goalkeeper just now.
He's standing right next to Jake Eastwood. Poynton is going to take this corner kick for Bradford. Left-footed in swing, a high looping centre to the far post. Tulloch is going to let the ball run out because he thinks it's another corner, and indeed it is on this near side. In the Rugby World Cup, Italy have just beaten Namibia 52-8. Remember, the All Blacks lost to the French last night in the opener. England play Argentina tonight. Here comes the corner from Bradford. It's sent in, but comes out to the edge of the area, and Halliday just flashed a volley from 35 yards out. Eastwood watched it all the way. It wasn't on target, and I think he had it covered, but it was a fierce hit from Brad Halliday. Goal kick to Grimsby, and the Mariners still lead by 1-0 on Talksport 2.
Well, it's an excellent corner in from Walker. I think it was Danny Rose that got the clearing header, like you say, 30 to 35 yards. Halliday taking it on. Technique was excellent. Just made sure, tried to keep it down. It just went over the bar there. Definitely had Eastwood scrambling a bit as well, but better from Bradford, like you said, keeping that pressure on Grimsby, corner after corner, making the right decisions in the attacking area on both flanks. I think Poynton and Gilead really have an understanding. We just need more final opportunities, more crosses coming in, and like you say, they've got the numbers in the box when they do come in.
Bradford 0, Grimsby 1. 68 minutes gone on a drinks break in progress, with temperatures still around the 26-27 mark. Just a reminder that NFL Sunday, a triple feature. We've got the 49ers at the Steelers from 5 p.m, followed by Packers against the Bears, and the Giants and the Cowboys locking horns in the wee small hours of Monday morning. Will Gavin will be your host. We are your home of the NFL as well as the EFL here on Talksport 2. Regular American football commentaries right throughout the season that is just getting underway, with the Kansas City Chiefs losing their opener to the Detroit Lions, having won the Super Bowl last year. See, it sounds like I know what I'm talking about with NFL there, doesn't it? I've almost convinced you that I know what I'm talking about, don't I, Chris?
I thought you had. I thought you did.
Honestly. What I know about the NFL, you could write on the back of a postage stamp with a very thick marker pen and still have plenty of room. So we're still waiting for the drinks break to conclude, and I think, to be fair to the players, they need that drinks break because pretty much all of the playing surface is still bathed in sunshine. There's only a corner to our left that's in shade. here at the University of Bradford Stadium. Just looking at Sam Stubbs' shirt, it's absolutely sopping wet, although in fairness, he's just poured a bottle of water over himself. And I mentioned he's the son of Alan Stubbs, former Everton youth. Joined in January, Sam Stubbs, at Bradford. 20 minutes to go, plus what the referee will add on for substitutions and drinks breaks and goodness knows what else. Bradford 0, Grimsby 1 on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Wrexham Doncaster at 3. Again, live on Talksport 2 from this League 2 division, which is so fascinating given the high profile that Wrexham bring. But Notts County, the other team that came up with them, have been arguably more impressive. And they go to MK Dons, who've made an excellent start themselves. I saw them win at Wrexham on the opening weekend of the season. And with Graham Alexander in charge, they're a tougher nut to crack, Milton Keynes, this season. Now, Rayan Tulloch looks to get onto a flighted pass for Bradford, but it's sailed over his head and out for a Grimsby throw. So Grimsby have got less than 20 minutes to try and hold on to a lead that they've established when, as Chris Awelamo's been saying to you in commentary, they've dropped more points from winning positions so far this season than any other League 2 side. They've won the ball back on halfway with Amos, looking to slide it forward for Rose, intercepted by Halliday. It's given back to Platt, and now Stubbs at the edge of his own D. Finds Smallwood and then guided back calmly to Harry Lewis. Lewis looks long downfield for Afoka, but Harvey Rogers got a very strong head on that at the back for Grimsby. It might break for Nahua, who picks up the ball at the edge of the area, getting the ball onto his left foot, gets the shot away. Good save, Lewis. Beat it away with his right palm, comes out to Isa, who tries to drive, and that's well wide. But Arthur Nahua just nicked inside on his left foot to the edge of the D, smacked it hard and low, but a good save for Bradford from Harry Lewis to keep it just 1-0 to Grimsby.
Well, I thought it was excellent there from Arthur Nahua there, I think manipulating the ball in that D, just moved it to the left, and with no real back lift, he's got some power on that shot with the left, and I've got to say it's just as good a save from Harry Lewis with a strong right hand down, and basically I think the ball went to about 25-30 yards out from the save as well. Just shows you the power that Nahua had got on the shot, but much better from Grimsby there.
Poynton can't keep the ball in play on the far side for Bradford. Throw in to Grimsby Town, but before that will be taken, there's going to be a change made for Grimsby, and they're going to take off Danny Amos, who is on a yellow card, we shouldn't forget, and Miche Efete, former Palace and Norwich youth fullback, is going to come on to replace him and go out to that left-sided position for Grimsby Town. 1-0 the Mariners lead.
Yeah, I'm surprised that change hasn't came a little bit earlier in the game. In fairness to Amos, I think he's defended well in the second half. Been asked a few questions as well with that Gillade.
Oh, good skill, Rayan Tulloch for Bradford in the centre of the half. He tried to play it left for the run of Lewis Richards, just couldn't find it through to him initially, but in the end the ball ricochets out to Richards. But now Grimsby have got more men behind the ball. Tulloch runs into trouble. It's won back temporarily by Gavin Holohan, but then Afoka steps in strongly for Bradford City. The substitute, Gillade, another substitute on the field for the Bantams, takes over. Tulloch, 30 yards out, floats the ball out to the far right-hand side, asking a lot of Brad Halliday, who kept it from going for a throw-in. Did he? No, he didn't. It was a throw-in on the far side that Efete is going to have for Grimsby Town. 16 minutes to go, plus added time on Talksport 2. Still Grimsby a goal to the good here, Chris Awelamo.
Yeah, but like you say, Bradford are definitely looking more threatening. I seen Smallwoods having a little go at Tulloch there. I understand he's trying to force the play. It's sometimes just better to keep possession, give it to Smallwood, who can see a full picture in front of him because he's facing the opposition goal. Just like you say, those decision making has to be better. But again, Poynton
gets for the byline, pulls it back to the near post. Not enough pace on the pullback really to help out Afoka. But Niall Mayer just thumped it out of play into those supporters opposite for a throw.
He's been good second half. Bobby Poynton, 19 years old, I think making his debut today, but again, fantastic he's showcasing what he's about, just that end product. And then it's about creating chances, getting your shots away. But he's definitely been more threatening in this second half.
Drums beating away in that cop stand behind the goal to our left that Bradford are attacking in this second half, desperate to get themselves level. On Talksport 2, Mark Hughes, hands on hips, down beneath us. Barks out his orders to Sam Stubbs, and then his captain Smallwood takes over. Floater ball out to the right hand side. It's well kept alive for Bradford by Poynton, and then worked back by Gilead to the halfway line. Here's Smallwood again, looking for the run of Halliday, who just got ahead of Isa for a moment, but then Isa snapped back and put the ball out of play for a quickly taken throw. Gilead for Bradford, just trying to find half a yard to get away from his man. Poynton clips it down the right hand side of the box. It's well controlled by Walker, but good defensive work from Niall Mayer to just put his foot in front of the Bradford number 7 and toe poke it out of play for another Bantam's throw. 1-0 Grimsby.
Yeah, much better again from Bradford. Poynton at the heart of it again. Little reverse pass to Walker, who I've got to say I think makes some excellent runs as well. Just plays on the shoulder, asking a question in behind. Smallwood, he has to win those second balls, and he's done that much better in this second half as well.
Well, now Afoka,
brilliant,
charges back into almost a right back position, but then the clearance from Harry Lewis goes out onto the Midland Road over on the far side of the field. That might have landed on your expensive car, Chris. Might have cracked the windscreen.
But yeah, you're looking at Harry Lewis there. I think he has to be better as well. Afoka's dropping back, defensively doing his job, gives in a good ball as well. The way to pass was excellent. He's just got to make sure, don't allow Grimsby off the hook.
Free kick to Grimsby down the left hand side of the box. Let's get some team news quickly from the Racecourse Ground for our 3 o'clock kickoff. Wrexham Doncaster. Joe Shannon's got the details.
And there's one change for Wrexham from last weekend's win at Tranmere. McAlinden for McLean at left wing back. The big news, though, is new signing Stephen Fletcher and talisman Paul Mullin, who's back after injury, are both on the bench. 3 changes for Doncaster, who seek their first league win of the season. Anderson, Alowu and Biggins come in for Wood, Maxwell and the suspended Tommy Rowe.
Thank you, Joe. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff here on Talksport 2 at the Racecourse. Mickey Gray will be alongside Joe. Grimsby with his free kick. They lead by a goal to nil. 13 minutes to go. Conte floats it in. It's headed out by Tulloch to the middle of the half. It's flicked back into the area by Holohan, and that's well defended by Brad Halliday. Let the ball bounce in front of his body and then just chested it back to his goalkeeper. Stays 1-0 Grimsby.
He has been excellent today, even there. I think being as composed when he's under pressure in the 6-yard box, just to chest it back to his goalkeeper.
Oh, Ryan Tulloch with a lovely turn of foot on this near touchline in almost no space, but then he ran into trouble and Grimsby win it back. Conte finds Holohan, who just hits a long hopeful ball downfield, asking Rose to give chase, but Stubbs has got in between him and the ball and will just let the ball drift out of play for a throw. But Bradford are running out of time here, Chris. 12 minutes to go plus added time. Still 1-0 to Paul Hurst's Grimsby Town.
Yeah, they are. I think it's just about trying to keep doing what they're doing. Take a little bit more risk in that attacking third. There'll be more bodies kind of throwing themselves forward. But they have to take advantage of that. Another change here, Ian.
And Abu Isa, the former Bradford man, is coming off for Grimsby. Hasn't scored on his return then to his former club. And Raquel Pike, who joined in July from Shrewsbury, yet to score or indeed to start for his new club. The former Huddersfield youth player, he's on wearing number 9 for Grimsby Town, who are looking to see this game out. They lead by a goal to nil. Bradford have got 11 minutes or so to try and rescue a point. Long throw coming in from Lewis Richards down this near touchline, the Bradford left, headed back in field for Grimsby by Holohan, and he gets it again into the centre of the half. Everything to his left, and he looks for Efete. Efete gives it back to Holohan, who's trying to combine with Conte now, and Nahua, but it's cleared away. Conte will shield the ball on halfway. It's going to be hard to get around Camille Conte and get a touch of the ball and get another very broad-shouldered defensive midfield player. Long ball hit downfield by Eastwood, straight onto the head of Matty Platt for Bradford. Bit of head tennis now around the centre circle. Up goes Efete, but it's one back for Bradford by Gilead. Lovely little pirouette from Jamie Walker on halfway. Pointer now picks the ball up in the centre circle, lays it off to Stubbs. Stubbs with an early ball out to this near side, and Richards back for Stubbs again. Rose keeping an eye on him, and Smallwood, the Bradford captain, works it back to Platt, but under a bit of pressure himself from Clifton, he has to go back to his goalkeeper. And after that early showing from Chizimafoka, he's not had much to work off, the Bradford substitute, and he should be able to give Rogers and Mayer something to think about a little different in these closing stages. Perhaps he'll get under the end of this, because Lewis Richards has the ball in play, but he couldn't keep it in play. Just his touch wasn't strong enough to prevent it going over the touchline. Throw in, and a rueful shake of the head from Mark Hughes beneath us. Bradford 0, Grimsby 1, 10 to go.
Well, it's a great little ball in behind as well, and I've got to say, Lewis Richards, he's completely in control there. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't let it bounce. Don't let it bounce again. It's bounced in front of you. Make sure you take a touch. You've got half of the half to go in just to take a good touch towards goal, get across your man, and you're going to create an opportunity there. You let it bounce and bounce. There's no need as well with the athleticism that he has. You know, he's fast across the ground, you know, speed of thought, and he's got that quality with his touch as well.
Bobby Poynton wins a throw for Bradford over on the far side, about 25 yards from the dead ball line. Leaves it for Halliday. Poynton showing for a throw in field. Walker's there too for a short throw. Tried to give it back to Halliday, but just put it straight back out of play, and Grimsby have survived a few more seconds. 9 minutes of normal time to go on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. You've heard the team news from Wrexham. Paul Mullin back amongst the Wrexham substitutes for their home match with Doncaster. Mickey Gray alongside Joe Shennan for that one, and those guys will take over at the conclusion of this game that is going Grimsby Town's way. Stubbs for Bradford, guiding the ball out to play for a Bantams goal kick. And Bradford are looking for something special in these closing stages.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if a Platt or a Stubbs goes up as a striking option here. Oh, here we go. Because there's got no physicality, and I think Bradford are going to have to go a little bit more direct.
Well, that's why Jamie Walker is going off, and Emmanuel Osadebe, who broke his leg in his first league appearance here in August of last year and has battled back. He's a midfielder, but again, tall and rangy.
Yeah.
He will be an added bonus up front for set pieces and balls floated into the box. You would think for Bradford in these last few minutes is they're going to presumably go a bit more direct to try and get themselves level. Grimsby trying to hold on. They've conceded a free kick to Bradford just inside their own half, Grimsby. And Smallwood, the captain for the Bantams, takes it short to his left for Lewis Richards in a bit of space in the shaded area of the pitch. Good early ball, headed away well though by Holohan, back doing some great defending for Grimsby, and then it's taken away by Pike for the visitors. Gets into the opposition half, runs into Stubbs, out of play. Grimsby Town throw. They still lead the Mariners by a goal to nil with 7 minutes left of the 90 on Talksport 2.
Good play, Raquel Pike there, all completely on his own. You know, he's got the ball, he's got two Bradford players around him, just moving it slowly, then just knocks it in behind, and it's a very timely challenge by Stubbs there.
It's all the Grimsby fans you can hear, most of them opposite us in the Midland Road stand, making all the noise. Shirt sleeve order for the most part, one or two who are not even bothering with a shirt, but then you see that at Newcastle in the middle of January.
You do.
And whilst we're all sweltering in these, it's not long, is it, Chris Uweleme, before the thermals come out, the thermal socks, before the clocks even go back,
gilets,
your wardrobe completely heated gilets. Give over.
That's you, Ian, isn't it?
You wouldn't dare. I blame Sam Matterface for that. He started that nonsense along with Danny Higginbottom, our old friend.
What a man.
There's no working in the States. A change made for Bradford, and it's enforced because Sam Stubbs looks to be limping a little, and so that means Jonathan Tompkinson comes on for his debut on loan from Norwich City, a centre-half. Made a few appearances on loan at Stevenage last season. So he's on for one last roll of the dice for Mark Hughes. Ball's back with the Grimsby goalkeeper to our left, Jake Eastwood. Under no pressure, although Afoka now comes to close down a bit of space, so it's fired downfield by Eastwood. And a strong header from Richards, but it might work for Rekil Pike. Oh, that's good covering from Matty Platt.
Oh.
And then just sells the dummy to Rekil Pike and plays into the feet of Smallwood. Smallwood under a bit of pressure from Holohan at the edge of his own area. There's a Grimsby player down. Clifton, I think, just looking to see where the ball is, to see whether he's going to stay down a little longer. Now he's slowly picking himself to his feet. It's like Lazarus, he's come back from the dead. Meanwhile, Bradford are coming forward. And Danny Rose is back fit again, and the ball hits his back. But he's got the benefit of it. A slip from Matty Platt, goes into the area, goes down under pressure from Gilead. Breaks for Rekil Pike. Pike wins the corner of Gilead. Grimsby have a corner at the Dallas stand end. They lead by a 1-0 on Talksport 2.
Well, Danny Rose definitely feeling it. I think he's worked ever so hard for Grimsby. He's covered so much grass as well, and you can see he's breathing hard at the minute. The referee on a few occasions.
Yeah, but come on, the way he got to his feet and was suddenly sprinting. Yeah. Come on.
Definitely. There's definitely an argument for it. I think Sam Purkis has looked to the skies and shaking his head in amusement on a few occasions with Danny Rose.
Afete with the corner for Grimsby, deep to the far post, and Platt has to head it behind. Rose was right behind him. So it's another corner kick, this time with the Midland Road meets the Dallas stand. So Grimsby fans will give Nahua a bit of a cheer as he comes over to that far side to take this corner kick for Grimsby. Still 1-0 up on Talksport 2 as we head into the last 4 or 5 minutes of normal time. Off to the racecourse once we're done here. Wrexham Doncaster is live at 3 o'clock here on your home of the EFL Talksport 2. And England Ukraine at 5 over on Talksport. Nahua's corner for Grimsby. Headed away at the near post by Osadebe. Poynton trying to bring it further clear. Only one person ahead of him, and that's Rayan Tulloch. Will he get there before Clifton? No, Clifton's clearance flies over my head and into the top tier of the main stand here at the University of Bradford Stadium. Thrown back and lands on the top of Mark Hughes' dugout. And Bradford tried to take a quick throw, but 2 balls were on the pitch in the end. Richards for the Bantams into the feet of Osadebe. He's just had the ball nicked off his toe by Conte. Now a throw goes into Afoka, holding the ball up well. Osadebe clips the ball out to the Bradford right-hand side. 3 minutes to go, 1-0 to Grimsby. Bradford coming forward. Poynton down the right-hand side, gives it back to Halliday. Lovely quick feet from Brad Halliday. Clips the ball into the area over the head of Afoka, headed up in the air. It might drop for Rayan Tulloch. It's actually volleyed clear by Pike. And then Rose inside his own half for Grimsby. Gets it up to the halfway line. Holohan takes over. He's got Pike on the overlap, inside right position. Now Rekil Pike darting for the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Holds play up and brings in Malarkey. Malarkey's ball into the area, looking for Holohan, who went to ground and half-heartedly looked for a penalty. Nothing doing, says the referee, and Chris Owelemo just grins to my left-hand side.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's doing, Holohan there. I've got to say, it wasn't a bad touch, but it just got away from him, it's 10 yards from goal. He falls to the ground far too easily, but I've got to say, I think Danny Rose, good intelligent play, makes the ball stick, little flick over his head, Pike in behind. It was a real opportunity to kind of put Bradford to the sword there, Grimsby, but they never capitalised.
Oh, Tompkinson was just playing chicken there with Danny Rose with the ball at his feet at the edge of his own 18-yard box. But here come Bradford. Poynton, right-hand side of the area, running at Afete. Checks onto his left. Can he get the cross? He pulls it back to the edge of the area. Gilead onto his right. 1-1. Alex Gilead brings Bradford level with 90 seconds to go. Mark Hughes punches the air. And Grimsby Town have dropped points again, it seems, from winning positions. And it's Alex Gilead from the edge of the area letting fly. Poynton gets the assist on his full debut. And it's all square in West Yorkshire. Bradford 1, Grimsby 1.
Well, that's an excellent strike from Alex Gilead there. I've got to say, Poynton manipulating the ball, moving it. When he's released it to Gilead, I think it was for Smallwood, who was behind, but Gilead taking the opportunity, taking the responsibility, moved the ball onto his right foot, and then you know what, power, accuracy into the bottom left hand corner. And I've got to say, Eastwood had no chance whatsoever. It was an excellent strike from Gilead there.
First goal of the season for Alex Gilead for Bradford City, and it's 1-1 on Talksport 2, and we've still got a good few minutes to play. Chance for a winner for either side. Grimsby players sunk to their knees almost to a man when that ball flew into the back of the net from the right foot of Alex Gilead. That sinking feeling that's all too familiar for Grimsby in these opening weeks of the season when they're in great positions in games but just can't quite convert. And now we move into added time, and there will be at least 6 minutes here from this point on, with a score at 1 apiece.
So the thing for me now, it's risk and reward, isn't it? You know, you've just got the goal. Can you go and win the game for me if you're a Bradford player?
Well,
but you're leaving holes in behind as well.
Chisholm Afoka, the Bradford substitute on loan from Aston Villa, finds Smallwood with a clip down the centre of the field looking for Osadebe. Osadebe's got him behind Rodgers. Well, just couldn't get either a head or a foot to it to pull it back from the dead ball line. Just got ahead of Harvey Rodgers there, who could have brought him down, but it ended up being a goal kick to Grimsby. 1-1.
Well, I think if you're Osadebe there, as soon as you feel the hands of Rodgers on your back, you go to ground. You give the referee a decision to make in that position there, because he's got in behind.
Well, Bobby Poynton's just been given the Man of the Match award on his full debut. He hasn't scored today, but he did set up that equaliser just now for Alex Gilead. The 19-year-old Bradford youth will have had a smashing day today and will have really enjoyed himself out there, but was a point enough for Bradford. Another home draw to continue the number of home draws they got here last season, that if they converted 2 or 3 of those into wins, they could have most definitely been in the running for automatic promotion.
Yeah, I think home form is definitely an issue. Only 37 points taken here when they've collected 39 points away from home. So, but like you say, unbeaten. If they can obviously keep this result, or even better it by going and getting the win, it definitely has improved.
It's 1-1. Nearly 2 minutes of the minimum 6 have gone. Bradford's goal kick headed out of play by Efete for a throw to the Bantams. Now they're trying to hurry it up and get the multi-ball system to work in their favour. Lewis Richards to take it on this near side.
Well, I've seen both dugouts. Ball goes to Mark Hughes. He lets it hit the thigh and go into the dugout, slowing it down, and Paul Hurst done the exact same there. So it's like both teams' managers seem to be happy with the point apiece.
Here come Grimsby, who've led for such a long time in this game. Pretty much the whole of the second half. But now it's all square. Ball's rolled back to Camille Conte for the Mariners, just ahead of the halfway line. Plays the ball along the halfway line to his right for Rodgers. Along the deck for Rekil Pike. Good first touch from Pike. What a sliding challenge. Lewis Richards to win it back for Bradford. And now Afoka's got a bit of green grass to run into. Down the inside left channel for Bradford. Afoka got no support at the moment from any teammates. He's got to do it all himself. Goes down, and he's going to be booked for simulation. Tried to win a penalty. Just gets a clip round the top of his head from Harvey Rodgers as he walks away. And a booking for Afoka.
Well, there's got to be some contact. You can't just kind of knock it between 2 players and just
fall.
Yeah, platoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of. There's got to be some sort of contact.
That's a cracking reference from 1987.
Well, come on,
I like it. Register with me. 1-1 on Talksport 2. Your home of the EFL. Less than 3 minutes of the minimum 6 to play. There's a winner in this for either side, I'm telling you. A long throw going to come in from Niall Mayer for Grimsby into the Bradford box. This could be the Mariners' big chance to retake the lead and snatch all 3 points. Plenty forward in black and white stripes. Mayer on this near side, the Grimsby right, hurls it into the near post. Rodgers tries to get a flick. Drops at the edge of the area. Driven goalwards and wide. Chance there for, I think it was Harry Clifton who had the effort in the end, but dragged it well wide. Left-footed, goal kick Bradford, 1-1.
Well, Clifton as well, as soon as he seen that bounce, and it was all about timing. He was arriving, slowed himself down, and he was so disappointed with himself just with the connection that he made with the ball, because he should be asking the question of Harry Lewis there.
1-1 on Talksport 2. Free kick to Grimsby for a push by Afoka. Got to be a little bit careful. He's only just been booked for that simulation inside the Grimsby penalty area. Rodgers getting to his feet.
I think Sam Purkis, the referee today, has been excellent. You know, I think again understands that as well. Afoka, the tempo, the intensity of the game. Okay, rightfully so, has to book for the dive, but in those moments, very easily could bring out a yellow card.
Flick down the right-hand side from Danny Rose for Grimsby. Tompkinson hoofs it out of play for a throw right by the corner flag at the Dallas stand end on the Grimsby right. Another chance for Mayer to hurl the ball into the box. We're into the last minute of the minimum 6 that have been added on here at the University of Bradford Stadium. 1-1 between Bradford and Grimsby on Talksport 2. Mayer about to send this long throw into the Bradford box. Rogers gets a flick on, drops around the penalty spot, drops for Clifton with another shot. It's blocked out to the right-hand side of the box and it's fired over the bar. Niall Mayer tried to keep it down but just lifted it well over the crossbar, and that's a goal kick for Bradford City at 1-1.
Well, Mayer there, I think as soon as he takes his first touch, he tries to pass it in. I think he's got to go with the laces, keep it low and hard, a couple of bodies in front of Harry Lewis there as well, and just like you say, just hit the target with it. He just tried to pass it.
Now the ball sent back by Malarkey to Jake Eastwood, the Grimsby keeper. First time clearance downfield, headed back by Platt. And the full-time whistle goes, and honours even at the University of Bradford Stadium. Bradford continuing to draw games at home as they did so often last season, and Grimsby continuing to drop points from winning positions as they've done quite often so far this season. They led right on half-time through a Danny Rose header from Toby Bilarkey's precise first-time cross, and they held that lead right up to just before added time when Bradford substitute Alex Gillard fired home from the edge of the area after being set up by Bobby Poynton, the young 19-year-old making his full debut for Bradford today. Scrappy, untidy at times, but Paul Hurst will go away by far the more irritated manager with this result, Chris Iwelumo.
Yeah, well, he'll be frustrated. You know, I think it's they have to address it. Now, they did create opportunities in the second half. They had to weather the storm. I thought they defended well, but you've got to remember, since that defeat away to Notts County, they've won 2 and drawn 3. You know, unbeaten in 5 league games now, and there's always a positive spin in, and I think that's where they've got to focus, trying to instill that confidence. And like you say, it wasn't really an individual error. You know, it was an excellent finish from Gilly from the edge of the box. It's found the bottom left hand corner. So again, yeah, another 2 points drop from a winning position. 9 now. Still got the first goal. Again, that's a positive. So again, it's all about just focusing on positives, working on the negatives and taking that into the next game. But unbeaten in 5 league games, I think from Mark Hughes' Bradford side as well, they'll be delighted that they've got the goal, because they were threatening that all second half, but they have to start games like that.
But the sooner they get Andy Cook, Verdane Oliver and Tyler Smith back in the reckoning, the better for Bradford, because the one thing they didn't look in particular today was goal hungry.
Well, they've got to create chances. You know, they find themselves in excellent positions in both flanks, but we want end product. We want crosses coming in. We want attempts on goal, and that's something that, even with the XG, when you look at it, they should be sitting on probably 3 times the goals, the amount of goals that they're sitting on at the minute.